What up, people? It is yet another beautiful Saturday evening, October 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are here today, once again, to talk about the robots in disguise and everything in between. We'll give it a moment. We'll let people slowly pile in. And greetings from Spain. What's up? We got a giveaway yet again this evening where someone will get a nice gift certificate that could get you a whole bunch of cool stuff from Hasbro licensed official Transformer product or anything else that you want that catches your fancy from the web store of Symbiote Studios. What up, Steven? So it's been a crazy week. Been a crazy week for Transformer news. A lot of different stuff was revealed to us. We got to see the new Sound Blaster, although it's the old Sound Blaster, but the new Sound Blaster toy that Takara Tomy is doing. So now we have another opportunity to get that if you didn't get that 35th anniversary version. BotBots or tiny turbo changers? That's a tough one. That's a real tough one. Because I have my big box of tiny turbo changers over here until I get a new shelving for them because they're so tiny that I don't want to waste like my regular shelving for it. So I'm going to get a special shelving for it. But BotBots has so much originality. That's a tough one. That is a real tough one. Do you think the new MP Starscream will be a repaint? We'll get a repaint in the MP3 colors. I doubt it. MP03 Starscream's colors were because of Kawamori and his obsession with making like a perfect jet transformer. And that's why like even the undercarriage of that Starscream is a lot like, you know, pretty much a lot better than even the newer one. But his obsession with a perfect jet kind of sacrificed everything that we have of that mold today. And like even the MP11, even with all the retooling that they did to it, it still had Kawamori's lingering. And even the scale was because of Kawamori, because he wanted something that scaled in the 160 scale with the other Macross jets, and that affected all the masterpieces from that time. It truly was a product of its time. And it came out like before like Transformers took over the world, so dare I say Macross was more popular than Transformers at that point, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, it's crazy. Oh, Aaron's here. Aaron Archer's here. Awesome. Everybody's here to chill. Everybody's here to chill. Oh, Lee J's here too. Yo, Lee J. People who don't know, I've known Lee J for like 25 years. There's a really cool photo of him kicking around on the internet of him holding a blaster figure. Hip Hop Blaster. Yo, Lee J. Nice to see you here, man. And Damon Bat's here. Damon Bat, premier artist, NWO for life. I ain't wearing NWO today, Damon. I'm wearing Symbiote Studios wear, which we'll be talking about later this evening when we do our giveaway for everybody. Macross cartoon had much better storytelling too. Well, Macross is, you know, a staple. Is a staple of mecha genre history that even infuses itself into Transformers. It's that important. You know, I always feel that Do You Remember Love, the Macross movie from '86, is like easily one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Easily, without a doubt. Like I've shown that movie to so many people because I love it that much. It's such a good movie, and it aged so well because like the animation was so good for that time that even today it still looks amazing. It's incredible. Opinion on the concept of evil clone characters. When you realize Dinobot received an evil clone before Prime did. Well, you know, like clone characters work if they're done properly. I mean, it's the oldest trope in like fiction history of like the evil clone or the evil version. I mean, it goes back as far as like one of the first memories I have of like the evil clone idea was like the Speed Racer cartoon from the 1960s, where they made like an evil clone Mach 5, which is like and that's like the 60s. I'm pretty sure there's stuff that even predates that for sure. I'm pretty sure that, Bizarro, I don't know when Bizarro came out with Superman, maybe in the 70s, I think, but it's like, the evil clone versions have always been around. If it's done... Sorry about that. I don't know why the internet was a little weird today. We actually have a storm coming through Montreal, so that's just great. We actually had hail today. Nothing beats having ice pellets hitting your car in October. But yeah. Do we think we'll get Studio Series Wreck-R? I think so. I think that Studio Series 86 is going to really focus on some of those like premiere movie characters. But oh, thank you, Jim Sierra Bravo, for the for the amazing super chat. Ask a question, please. Don't just donate money. Ask a question too. I always want to answer. Going back to what Vincent said, Studio Series 86 Wreck-R, I think that'll happen for sure. I really do. Any thoughts on Beast Mode Mercenaries? Well, right now we have technically a mercenary that turns into a beast in that of Double Dealer, because he has his, I guess, Hawk mode, if you will. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure they're going to flesh out the mercenary idea. But it seems like mercenaries thus far have all been repaints. So maybe Shadow Panther from Cheetor will be a mercenary or something. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I feel like the mercenary faction right now is more just a writing tool. Even though it's existed in the past in Transformer lore, it's really just a writing tool right now for the Netflix guys. I don't think Snapdragon was one of the mercenaries. I think that from what we saw in the trailer, it was the 3 cone heads, Bug Bite, Double Dealer, Exhaust, and I think that's it. I think I'm forgetting somebody. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody, but that's who we have thus far from the trailer. From previous fiction, that logo has been thrown around all over the place. How many waves of Earthrise and Kingdom will there be? 3 waves of deluxes. 4 waves in total, though, for Earthrise, because I think that the the Battle Master class has a 4th wave of filler. Kingdom, we don't know. I mean, we have a general idea of what's been shown to us thus far. Slitherfang might be a mercenary too, yeah, it's true. Slitherfang might be a mercenary. I mean, the thing is that the small price point stuff has yet to appear in any of the Netflix stuff. Like, they really avoid that price point because of how cheap it is. But we saw through Sakamoto's manga this weekend that Slitherfang does indeed confirmed work with the Quintessons, even though his box art packaging kind of confirmed it too. But we'll see. Yo, what up, Larry? Do you think the Masterpiece line is still worth collecting? I think the Masterpiece line is starting to price itself out of certain individuals of the fandom. What's up, Dogcade? I feel like for years Masterpiece was an alternative to retail stuff, but it was never too expensive compared to that. I mean, when I think about it, I think the original Masterpiece MPO1 Optimus, I want to say it was an MSRP of $100. Aaron's here. Maybe he could confirm that because he worked on that. And then it just kind of grew from there. And even like, we had the cheaper price points at one point where like, Lambor, the Datsuns, like those were cheaper too and everything. And now it's like, I feel every Masterpiece, it's like, let's start at $250 and see how high we could go. So it's getting pretty crazy now. And it all started, honestly, with Masterpiece Dinobot, the Beast Wars one. It's like they did that Masterpiece Dinobot, it sold incredibly well. And then they're like, okay, let's do Masterpiece G1 Megatron version 2.0 at that price point. Let's do Beast Wars Megatron at that price point. Let's do Tigatron at that price point. Like it was just, they were trying to see, like, can we get people comfortable with paying that kind of money permanently with Masterpiece. And I mean, Tigatron was the one that made me raise an eyebrow because I was like, man, like, that's a lot of money. Yeah, Hot Rod was expensive too. Like, they kept raising it. They really did. Do you think we will get a relaunch of Combiners, but in a War for Cybertron style or Prime Wars? Well, I was talking with someone recently. I was saying how it's been a while since we got Superion, so I'm kind of curious how they're going to revisit that trademark. It has been quite a bit since we saw Superion, that trademark. Or just the, I mean, the aerial bots and Superion were the first of those Combiner War combiners. So I'm really curious how they're going to go about that if they want to. Any fossil beast modes you're hoping to see next year? Jesse, one of the guys on Twitter, posted a really good one. He showed Volinger from Transformers Zone, who had like his bone body combined mode, and I was like, man, that'd be so cool if they did that. That'd be so cool. I totally forgot about that. Like his combined mode had like all these bone elements and stuff before he became all the sparks of Decepticons. Any idea as to why the MPMs are generally less expensive than mainline? Number one, they're made in larger numbers because the Chinese market eats them up. Number two, they're not as big. I think the largest one is I think the Megatron was the largest one size-wise. I don't have the Starscream yet to compare it, but I think Megatron's the largest one. I mean, look at that MPM Jazz. That's a tiny one. The Optimus wasn't even that big either. So, like, they're much more smaller despite the fact that they're more engineered. But I think it's the market. I think that they just make more of them because China just eats those up like crazy. Do you think the new Beast Wars comic is going to stay faithful to the show in terms of premise, personality? Well, from what I read, writer Eric said that those are the beats that are going to be kept. They're going to try to keep that stuff. I mean, Josh Burcham, who's one of the artists, he's actually the main artist. I don't know if he's going to do the coloring too. I think he's going to do the coloring also. He's, you know, he knows his stuff. So hopefully Josh will interject some of his knowledge too in there to make sure that everything is smooth sailor. As long as Perez is there, Burcham is there, I'm pretty confident everything will be okay. But I kind of hope it's kind of a new story. I don't want them to retread the same story. I would like, you know, like already we see there's that character Nyx. I think that's what it's called now, to play on Onyx Primal. But that character Nyx, that kind of is already a nice little different twist to have that fifth member that isn't Dinobot. So that should be interesting to see what happens. That'd be cool if she gets a toy. I think it's a she. I have yet to see official information on that. This is all people telling me, oh, she's named Nyx and it's a female character. I'm like, okay, cool. If that's what it's confirmed. But yeah, so if that is the case, it'd be cool to see Nyx get a toy. And then maybe Takara will then take that toy and retool it, repaint it into Bat Primal and G1 Optimus Prime Bat Primal with the blue colors. Convoy Primal, I don't know, Bat Convoy. Why don't Studio Series have more repaints? Because Studio Series is a stronger emphasis on show accuracy. If there is a repaint that was in the movie, or movie accuracy, excuse me, then it would make sense. I think the only one that kind of, even then if some people argue that, there was the Shadow Raider repaint, and then there was the, what's it called there, the Thundercracker one that they did. The Studio Series Thundercracker, which I believe was the very last Toys R Us exclusive in America. Those ones don't make sense, but otherwise, you know, they're all still pretty cool, but I don't really think repaints make sense considering what the MO of the whole toy line is. The whole point is to be accurate. Why would we do Smokescreen from Jazz or, you know, I don't know, just do the straight up Bumblebee Cliffjumper repaints and stuff like that. Cliffjumper wasn't in those original movies. He was in the Bumblebee movie. But to do like a red Camaro doesn't make any sense. Hey, Protoman, are you aware that the review of... See, I don't know why you guys want to bring up those people. Like, why would you want to talk about that kind of stuff? Like, the whole point is to not give those people attention for their bad deeds. So, no point in watching their stuff. I'll get Breakdown when he comes out. I'll compare it with the one that I own, and then I'll know. You know, there's nothing I could learn from those individuals. Where are we at here? The direction of new masterpieces seem to be going is not really a surprise with the quality engineering of some of the recent Siege and figures, the older masterpiece. Well, yeah, the one thing is I do agree with revisiting characters like Starscream, especially him getting a new masterpiece. I have no problem with that. I have zero problem with Starscream getting a new masterpiece because MPO3 is such a product of its time. When you read the origin story of how that toy was engineered and how it just didn't really even fit in within what masterpiece became after let's say MP10. And after MP10 came out and they took MP11 and which was just MP3 Starscream and they just retooled it a little bit, but it was still stuck in that same skeleton problem of what Kawamori did. And again, what Kawamori intended for that version, that's fine, but it just doesn't work with what Masterpiece finally evolved into ultimately in the end. Especially when, with the Lambor, the Datsuns, and Wheeljack, when they came around, man, they changed the game. They really did. They really did. And Starscream, I like the Starscream. I just think it's a little pricey, and some of the accessories, well, I can't hate on Fanwank, but at the same time, I'm not going to be excited if you tell me, like, oh, because he has the claw, the little Cosmic Rust, thing, the little drill, and that's going to justify an extra $50, then you could keep it. Because I'm not going to display it with those. Those are just going to be on the side. I have so many Masterpiece pieces already from other figures that just never get used. They get, they're like all the different hands that Shockwave came with. They're all going to sit in a box forever. Or all the Beast Wars pieces, and those I appreciate though, the facial expressions, but like some of the others, I don't know. Proto, do you think we will lose important pieces of Transformers media over time, like One Awakening, for example? That cell phone game, thank goodness for, the community of cell phone video game preservers, because that was a great game that I think like you had a window opportunity of maybe like 3 years to download it or 2 years, and then it was gone forever. And that was a great little, like, if you enjoy, let's say Fire Emblem or stuff like that, that was a great little, turn-based strategy kind of game. It was really fun. And I think it was Glue was the company that did it. And it was just great. And then they just kind of swept it under the rug and we never saw it ever again. But that's the problem with cell phone gaming, unfortunately, is that if you really like something, or if it's something that you missed out on it and you want to go revisit it, sometimes it's just gone forever. There is so many Japanese Transformer cell phone games that I have. Like, I have a separate iPad that I have just for Japanese cell phone games. And, Mystery of Convoy, the one that they did with Q Transformers, that doesn't work anymore. You download it, you could play it, and then when they discontinue it, they take down the servers and the game doesn't work anymore. And what sucks is because when you buy the Q Transformer toys, you're able to scan them into the game, doesn't work anymore. So, like, cell phone gaming I've never been a big fan of, because you can't enjoy it in a long term. If you miss out on something, you're screwed permanently because you just can't. And then something like, G1 Awakening, luckily you could kind of play it online through dubious means because someone saved the I guess we'll call it the install file, and you could install it on phones and stuff like that, or you could play it online through like emulators. But I mean, it's going to be a little more complicated. Imagine, give me an example. I'll get to your questions all in a sec, but I'm going on a tangent here. To give you an example, like the new Transformers Earth Wars cell phone game. I play that a lot. And it's one of those games that it has the, the pay to win kind of concept where you could pay money to get, crystals, so you could download better characters and stuff, and it's that whole gacha system. And I never put a dime into it. I'm a terrible advertiser for that, but I never put a dime into it, but I play that game a lot. And it's one of those things that one day they're just going to turn off the server on that game, and all that hard work and hours that were put into it is going to go in the toilet. And that's crazy when you think about that. Where imagine all the hours you put into like an RPG or something. You could go revisit that RPG 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years down the line, boot up your PlayStation 3, and all your save file will still be there. The cell phone gaming world is not like that, unfortunately. And it's something that I know is going to be a headache later. It is so going to be a headache later. I want a book of mobile game artwork. Well, you know what? I want a book of that Transformer Legends mobile game artwork. Yet again, another Transformers game that people put time and effort in, including this dude here. And then they just pulled the plug on it, and all your hard work is for naught. It's gone forever. Have you played Among Us? Not yet. Haven't had time to play it yet. Haven't had time. I'm like literally just 2 days ago, I was revisiting Double Dragon Neon, which is like, I love that game. Just has such an amazing soundtrack, and I love the style of it too. So like, I kind of like revisit these old hits. Want to kind of revisit the Assassin's Creed trilogy again, like the original trilogy of games before they move to the next consoles. A few of those. How the Toys R Us has cleared out Transformers Siege and Earthrise figures. Will they start selling Kingdom Wave 1 figures? Well, this weekend in Canada, I think, oh, I don't have the flyer here, it's upstairs. They were clearing out everything but deluxes pretty much. I probably should turn off my phone. I'm going to get a bunch of messages. We're going to get a whole bunch, everything but deluxes were on special. They were 60% off. And that's Toys R Us pretty much going, oh, we know it's coming for the holiday season. Let's liquidate all of this. And it wasn't just Transformers, though. They were liquidating a lot of their stuff. It's pretty much them planning for the new product rollover in general, not just Transformers, but everything. But yeah, we'll definitely see a lot of Kingdom stuff, especially in Canada, probably December or January for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they break street dates for the holiday season. You'll probably see those pegs filled up before Christmas, for sure. For sure. Freemium mobile games. Look, I don't mind paying for a mobile game, like a one-time payment to own it, but like they did with like Mario Jump, I think it was called. But I want to also be able to keep it. You know, that's the one thing that I hate, you know, is that one day it's all just going to be gone. And the freemium ones, like, they're free, but you got to pay to like win pretty much. I feel those are so silly to put money into. Fire up my DSi and play some Chrono Trigger. I love the DS version of Chrono Trigger. It has so many extras in it. That's probably one of the best ways to play that game now. Probably the cheapest way, too. Your thoughts on Hasbro Pulse Sound Blaster? Well, if you're referring to the new one that they showed through Takara Tomy, I think it's cool. I like that they put the emblem, and it gives more of an opportunity to pick up that mold, because the 35th anniversary one that they did, that kind of came and went very quickly. I think it was it 35th? Yeah, it was 35th anniversary version. They did that with Optimus, Megatron, and I want to say Blue Streak. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Blue Streak. How about UK getting their breakdown before Pulse? Hey, that's cool. I mean, if they get, look, if they break street dates with stuff and they're able to get stuff early, hey, that's awesome for them. You know, hey, Canada many times got stuff ahead of time always. If I miss any questions, by the way, guys, just ask again, because sometimes stuff gets pushed up. Do they use SABS plastic on Masterpiece figures? No, they don't. No, they don't. For sure not. SABS, honestly, like, grab a few examples. Some of the Studio Series stuff for sure uses it. Like, floppy. Like, they, and then, of course, you know, anything that you could, like, literally put up to the light. And again, I have no problem with certain toys being like that. Like, you know, these figures, these gimmicky kind of, you know, whatever they're called. I think they're called the Energon armors. You know, stuff like this, I don't mind, you know, having that, because I know what the market is. I know what the price point is. I know who it's aimed at. So that's fine. But when you have, like, you know, like the deluxe stuff, like this hot rod, this used MABS plastic and SABS plastic. And this was just a floppy mess. This was just, you know, and I was kind of disappointed with the budget that went into that one. Where then the RC was amazing, which really confused me. Kind of spat in the face of everything that I thought about. Maybe someone at Hasbro really liked RC and made sure that that one kind of went a little bit above the budget, which has been done in the past. I know that in Mattel, when they were doing their wrestling figures, they really wanted the Asuka figure to be, like, really good. And they said that they put way more paint than they normally budget into for their figures because they wanted it to look that good. And I think maybe RC was the same kind of story because, you know, this technically was at the time her first Cyberverse figure. So, you know, give her a really good figure. Now she has a Cyberverse version, not a Cyberverse, a tiny turbo changer also. But, you know, it was her first figure, so maybe they really wanted to make sure it was really good. And I was so impressed with the quality of it. It was nuts how good it was. Hey, Protoman, since North Americans are getting certain Japanese characters due to better paint, accuracy, and exclusives, do you think Japanese collectors feel we are lucky in the figures we get? It's you know, the grass is always greener. They get good stuff too. You know, they get a lot of good stuff also. They get Transformer events, man. They get like crazy Transformer events every 2 months. You know, at some kind of mall, they'll do some kind of big event or they'll do some kind of expo. It's all, you know, grass is always greener. You know, sometimes they get cool exclusives too. Sometimes, like, look, they used to get like exclusive lines and everything that we would never get. I mean, imagine like, here's us getting alternators, and then they were getting Vinyl Tech with metal in them. And when you compared the price difference, they almost kind of evened out with the yen currency at that time. So, especially when you figure quality of life, when how much the yen would cost in that market. So it's you know, it's 50-50. Sometimes it's good for us, sometimes it's not good for us. It really really depends. Do you have obscure character? Do you have an obscure character to get a new toy soon? If so, then who? Who would be a cool obscure? We haven't gotten DevCon yet. Where's a good DevCon figure? DevCon is always like a repaint of a pre-existing toy, and it's, you know, like the BotCon one was okay, I guess, but, you know, where's our good DevCon figure? Where's our really good G-Axis figure? Like, I want those. Because, you know, we've gotten everything else at that point, pretty much. And what figure do you think Japanese collectors hunt down for the American market? Oh, they hunt down a lot of weird stuff. I remember, what was it? Because we have, like, back in the day with BotCon, you'd have Azusa, who was like one of the big Japanese dealers, and now he comes to TFCon for the USA shows. And every time he would go back, I'd always pay attention to what he bought to bring back home, because that market eats that stuff up. They love, well, I think it's like, you know, how do I explain it? It's like reverse weeaboos. It's like Japanese people that are obsessed with American market stuff. And like he was bringing back not just like Transformer stuff, because he was bringing back exclusive Beast Wars stuff that they didn't get over there, but he was bringing back He-Man. He was bringing back, what else was he bringing? American Micronauts. What else was he bringing? Oh, Ninja Turtles. He was bringing back Ninja Turtle stuff from the Nick series. It's there's a lot of stuff that they covet too. Like I said, the grass is always greener when you're on the other side, but we both have our advantages and disadvantages. Hey, Protoman, looking to get Terracon combiners. What is your opinion? What would be the best version? Well, obviously, it really is, you know, what is your opinion? Look, the American one is toy accurate. The Japanese one is show accurate, depending on what episode you watch. And the Japanese one comes with a retooled weapon that kind of is, you know, you get a little bit of an extra, retooled fists, retooled weapons. I mean, if I had to pick between the two and price wasn't an issue, I'd probably go with the Takara one. But there's also a big price difference. You get the American one, you're talking maybe an investment of $100 to $120. You get the Japanese one, you're talking $200. So it's a big price difference too. And I'm not even talking about shipping or anything. I'm just talking straight up just buying the product. But yeah, DevCon from 86 Scourge. Well, see, here's the thing. Now you're taking DevCon and repainting him, retooling him from someone again. I just want an original DevCon. Give him his own toy. Hey, Protoman, what do you think of Jobby the Hung? I honestly never watched any of his stuff. I'm aware of his existence. I don't really watch YouTube reviews. I'm not, like, I have this thing where I want to enjoy a toy for the very first time myself, and watching a toy review of it, I think ruins that experience. It's kind of like a spoiler to me in a lot of sense, where I kind of want to, like, you know, mess with a toy for the first time and then go, oh, like, I didn't know that, like, that piece clips in like that, you know, like, oh, or a cool head reveal. I find mostly toy reviewers, you know, they serve their purpose for certain people, but someone like me, it really doesn't. And that's not to say that they're not doing a good job. I'm just saying, like, it's not for me. Regardless of the quality. Like, look, I like Thu as a person. I think it's really cool what he's doing, but it's not my stuff. You know, I mean, it's not something that I like to enjoy. Where are we at here? Do you think we would get reissues of the Target Master Decepticon jets? Ooh, I don't know about that. Maybe back in the day we would have, like, you know, they would have done like a reissue of Cyclonus and include Nightstick with or something. But I don't know about today. It's kind of hard. Like the G1 reissue line by Walmart, I think it's dead now. I think it's done. That blaster is just piling up. And I just feel like every single release that they put out with that reissue line just ends up on clearance. There is just a wall of blasters at like 3 of my Walmarts. And I'm just going like, man, they're pricey, and not a lot of people want them outside of like specific characters. And it's like they gave you Devastator, people were scalping that Devastator. They gave you Optimus without the trailer, it went on clearance. They gave you the mini bots with Bumblebee. No one cared about the other mini bots, so those other mini bots went on clearance. The Astro Train went on clearance. The Starscream went on clearance. The Hot Rod went on clearance. It's not looking good. So reissues, probably you're going to see those more on the Japanese side than we will on the American side in the future. Just my take on that. Where are we at? Who do you think would be the next Titan class after the Arc and Devastator reissue? I don't know. It really depends on the theme of whatever they do. If they continue Beast Wars into the year after, like let's say the next series is still Beast Wars, I could see Magnaboss, like a really cool Magnaboss done, you know, like in, I don't know, like in a Predaking kind of scale, maybe. You know, give like some really good Voyager-sized elephant, lion, you know, hawk. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe that'd be a little too big. Maybe that's better for Commander. But that'd be kind of cool. Or alternatively, make the Titan class 2 combiners. Make it Tripredacus versus Magnaboss. Wouldn't that be cool? Have like 6 pieces in there. I mean, that'd be, you know, look, they did Devastator, and Devastator was 6 pieces. That's one way to look at it. If they don't do it, if they do, like, let's say they do Armada. Let's say they go into Unicron Trilogy. Then obviously it's going to be something like Tidal Wave. It really depends on what the theme will be. The Arc, oddly enough, works with Beast Wars because the Arc was a part of Beast Wars lore. So it works. It's, you know, it literally is the connection. G1 reissue Overlord and Walmart will make some bank. Nah, you think so? People, look, while, you know, there will be sales of it from collectors who wanted to get an expensive G1 Japan figure, G1 UK figure, but we are such a small number compared to the bigger picture of things. Look, that Hot Rod didn't sell well. That Starscream didn't sell well. That Optimus didn't sell well. Like, it's really tough to pinpoint that. The Devastator sold well because they were 2 per case and they were getting scalped like crazy because that was the very first wave of those reissues. So everyone thought, oh, that's going to be easy money to make or something. And now they're still sitting on them to this day. So, rumor is the next Commander class is going to be Rodimus Prime. We shall see. We shall see. Where are we at? Transmetals will be their own theme if Kingdom does well. Yeah. I could see, like, Kingdom does Season 1. If it sells gangbusters, the next series could be, you know, and people are like, oh, well, then that means the next trilogy is going to be only Beast Wars. No. It could start as Beast Wars. It could start as Beast Wars Season 2 and then move into something else. Look how this trilogy started. This trilogy started with a Cybertron theme with Siege, then Earthrise, which is kind of like, you know, traveling in space, and then we ended with Beast Wars. You know, if you would have looked at Siege and said, hey, where's this trilogy going? You would have never thought it ended with Beast Wars. So we'll see what happens. You can't really predict the next step. You could only kind of look at what's happening in the moment. Have you ever heard of the speculation that some people on the boards made of MP44 is more expensive because Tommy lost the staple Pokemon license? It's not, that wouldn't be it. First of all, while Tommy is was at one point the bigger fish compared to Takara when that merger happened, they're not going to raise prices because of losing the Pokemon thing. They have a lot of other brands that make them tons of money. Was Pokemon important? Of course it was important. But you can't deny that Beyblade wasn't making the money and a lot of other stuff, especially Burst on the other side of the globe. They're not using Transformers to hedge their bets. If they're going, wow, we lost the Pokemon brand. Hey, you know that niche collector market figure, MP44, that we're working on that probably only sells about maybe 10,000 units in the Japanese world? Yeah, let's use that to hedge all our bets against our Pokemon franchise that made us billions of yen. I don't think that that's how that works. That's not how that works at all. That's typical message board tomfoolery, not knowing how money moves. And why I don't post on message boards very often. After Transformers War for Cybertron, Hasbro Takar Tommy do Titan class Beast Machines Megatron. I don't know about a Titan class Beast Machines Megatron. I could see a Commander, a Leader class. I don't know about a Titan. That's a very... You're talking about the Mega Head? Oof, I don't know. That'd be a real sell. You have to understand something. Like, those Titan classes are always like the centerpiece every year at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, whatever they're going to be showing off to hype that year. So, like, they'll show off Unicron for the HasLab. They'll show off Devastator. They'll show off, like, you know, Metroplex, Fortress Maximus. But Beast Machines, Mega Head, Megatron? I don't know. You know what? It'd be cool. I'd dig it. But I don't know if they'd go that route. I could see a Commander. But I don't know if it's kind of like in the way I could see a Commander Skylynx, but I couldn't see a Titan class Skylynx. Just, I can't see that. Maybe the follow-up of Kingdom could be a mix of Beast Wars Season 2 and 3 and Beast Wars 2nd. We'll see. We shall see. That's one thing. We can't predict what the next hump is going to be after we get over this one. Will there be a chance to purchase Unicron at Hasbro Pulse? Made to order, my friend. If you didn't order it, you can't get it outside of the secondary market. And I'm pretty sure there's people that bought 2 of them, as crazy as that sounds, to resell. So that's one way to look at it. Hey, Protoman, do you think we'll ever see Star Saber figure in the West? Considering the Star Saber trademark is not registered right now, and at one point they were trying to use that Wing Saber trademark, and that's not registered, and they were at one point going to register Victory Saber, and the first one was going to be used for a Robot Hero of all things, and that never happened. We don't know at the moment. All 3 of those aren't used right now by Hasbro. They're not in Hasbro's possession. They could retool Trypticon into Gigastore. Well, you know what's the funny thing? We never got any obvious repaint retools from any of those Titans. Did we get Megaplex? Did we get Grand Maximus? Well, actually, did we get Brave Maximus? We got Grand Maximus, and even that didn't sell well, so that might even tell you something. Did we get G2 Devastator? You can't really do anything with Predaking. You know, did we get Gigastorm? No. Who am I forgetting? I can't see them. They're all the way over there. You know, like, it's... Did we get Black Zarek? Maybe it's still too early, but no. Who's your favorite Johto Pokemon? Ooh. That's a tough one. It's easier with Kanto. Johto... I don't know. I really like... the legendary mode Hoa, whatever it was called there, cover of gold. Not really many stick. I'm more of a old school Kanto loser. Do you think we'll see toy or media wise after War for Cybertron is finished? Seems like they hit gold with this line. Would be a shame for it to end. Well, I don't know if they hit gold. We'll learn those numbers at the next quarterly report. Siege did well. That was the last report that we got. We didn't get the Earthrise report yet, but knowing how they're going to probably sell it to us and investors, which are the more important people that they give the information, they'll probably blame the big V for it. So I don't know if the numbers we're going to learn is going to be true. Yeah, the whole losing Pokemon license making MP44 is a bit dumb. It's like saying that next Bandai Soul of Chokin will be 500 because Bandai of America lost the license to Power Rangers. Well, it's a little different. That's a different side of the ocean. But at the same time, like again, it's comparing a very niche, high-end market item to something they sell little PVC figures by the billions in Japan. It's kind of a different thing. I want Grandis that can merge with Metroplex. I would love a Grandis. Grandis is one of my favorite city formers, if not my favorite city former. So it would be cool, but he's obscure, and they don't have that trademark name. They'd have to trademark it, and then when would they ever use it again? Would they do a tiny turbo changer Grandis or something? So that's kind of a weird one for them. Titan class transmutate. That'd be terrible. I'll just say that. Bad idea. Transmutate, good idea. Transmetal Titan class transmutate, bad idea. We can get a leader class Fortress Maximus. Well, you know what? Look, we had Metroplexes that were leader classes through Cybertron. You know, it's doable. It's doable. There's ways to take those larger figures and release them through other means. The question is, where would it make sense where people would be able to enjoy it and Hasbro will be able to do it and still make a profit? Because to do Metroplex again as a Titan, you know, what if it's not as good as the original? So it's tough. Sing the Master Force themes. Do I have to? I could say, get on, got on, head on, Chojin, Master Force, Shonen wa Nira. I like the translation of it. It's boys become men. Hasbro and their profits. Let's avoid talking about TF Masterpiece Star. Again, and that's something that I still question the number. I feel like I legit feel that was less them trying to figure out how much it cost them to make it and more of them going like, let's try this number. Like, we could ask 150, but let's try 250. Let's see what happens. And if it does sell, then we know how much to ask for Skywarp and Thundercracker afterwards. And then if it doesn't sell well, which I firmly believe won't happen because it's Starscream, then they could release Thundercracker and Skywarp and include Thundercracker with a little, you know, reflector camera and some extras and Sidewinder missiles and who knows what extras. You know, Dr. Arkaville, they'll figure out a way to include a whole bunch of accessories. Little factory workers with hard hats. Who knows? They'll think of something. Will Transformers have a Beast Wars trilogy soon? I don't know about that. I think they're testing the waters right now. They're seeing, does Beast Wars have a market? And if it does, I mean, it's regardless of how we feel, does the mass market, not the collector, the mass market, does it want Beast Wars? And if it does, then we'll see. Then we'll see what Hasbro will always do what works. Oh, minicons are still selling? Keep doing minicons. Oh, minicon price point isn't selling? Let's do something else. That's how it works. Ristakar will make another Go Shooter. Well, you probably want something that isn't a repaint. You know, because the last one we got was a repaint of that Bumblebee. I would want something that's a brand new mold. That's, you know, because I believe Go Shooter was a Police RX-7, if I remember correctly. The FC3S 1986 RX-7 Savannah hood. Be really cool to just get that without Mazda getting up their butt, but that'd be cool. Do you think Hasbro will put out effect piece packs? Well, I think that if we get more of that, it'll probably be done through Hasbro Pulse. I mean, the Centurion accessory pack, that sold very well. That sold very, very well. That sold out very quickly. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see more of that in the future. For sure. 100%. And that thing is a great purchase. Like, anyone, if they could get their hands on that, that is a great purchase, that. Why haven't we seen Brawn or Wheeljack in the War for Cybertron run? Licensing? No. I think we're getting a Jazz, actually. That's the rumor. And Brawn, we've had some really good Brawn toys. You know, like that I think, what was it? It was Power of the Primes. Excuse me, was it Power of the Primes? Or was it Titan Returns? Either way, we got a really good Brawn out of that. It was Titan Returns. Okay. That was like a masterpiece Brawn, in my opinion. I mean, he kind of worked with Bumblebee. Maybe he was a little shorter. But, I mean, they were on the right track. It was pretty good. Do you think Transformers is still a big franchise in China? It's still huge in China. It's not as big now. I think that the Marvel franchise kind of dwarfed it after, I want to say, 2011, 2012. But it's still pretty big. It's still probably, I would have to guess, it's still probably their primary purchaser. I think they still sell more Transformers in China than they do in America, as sad as that is to sound, because that will reflect the market. I am curious because there was the Transformers NESA series that was supposed to come out, and then the Big V happened and everything got delayed. And I'm kind of curious how those numbers are doing, because they had 2 exclusive figures that there was going to do a 3-pack of legend scale, like, transformable figures of NESA, and then there was the large one that came with the little human figure of NESA. So I'm really curious how that is going to do, and we'll probably never learn the truth with that, because those numbers will probably get fudged, but we'll see. I like that mold as Outback. I love Outback. I love Brawn and Outback. Both of them, I can't decide who I like more, but I love those two. Those are 2 favorite characters of mine. Can Hasbro, Takara, third party make Masterpiece Counter Punch, please? Well, you'll have to ask them before they get shut down. Universe 2.0 Brawn. That's a good one, too. That was like that legend scale one. I liked that one. That was a good one also. Very simple, but it was a good one. Oh, that was fun. Again, for its time, it was a fun one. Do you know the game Dream Mix TV World Fighter? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It has everybody from Simon Belmont to Michi-chan to Tyson from Beyblade, and then, of course, all the Transformers. I did a panel about Transformers in video game history at TFCon in 2010, and I talked about that game. Vangelis actually recorded it, and it's on his channel. If you type TF video game panel on YouTube, I think it's TF video game panel TFCon, it'll come up, and I cover everything from the beginning up until 2010, and I talk about that game and all its little crazy stuff. Bomberman's in it too, yeah. Bomberman's in it. What's the name? That mascot who's also like a very popular baseball game in Japan for Namco. He was in it also. A lot of stuff. Really wacky game. It's like it's kind of like Smash, but not exactly. When is the next Galaxy Odyssey supposed to be announced? When Hasbro feels like it. In a world where we don't have conventions, it's a lot harder to predict that. We never had a Decepticon Seeker in deluxe class War for Cybertron. Well, because they want to do them in a larger price point, because then they can make you buy Red Wing for a higher price. What's the point of selling stuff for a deluxe class when you could sell it for a higher price point? And again, if Starscream sold well, you're going to get Thundercracker and Skywarp and the Rainmakers and Red Wing. You know? 86 Dinobots after Volcanicus reissue. I don't know. That was deliberately planned. I think they really wanted to get one last shot out of that mold before they release the new molds that make those ones completely pointless to people. That's just my take. Get that money back one last time. Do you think we will see repaint Beast Wars Megatron to look like the original T-Rex T-Rex Zord? I don't think so. I think we'll get some kind of crazy remold of him, maybe down the line. I could see like a Hasbro Generation Selects T-Rex out of him. That'd be cool. Where they'll actually kind of remold it a little bit just to like have a little fun with that. But I don't because think about what could you do with that mold. There's not much you could do outside of that. So it should be interesting. Is the 35th anniversary Sound Blaster figure still being sold? It's not anywhere in stores anymore. It's been I don't want to say out of print, but it's been out of stock for quite a while. So, and not to mention, I feel that the what do you call it? The new one from Takara Tomy Mall is way better. It's more show accurate, and that's kind of the point. That's what we want to have. We want to have show accuracy. Do you think Hasbro will really make trademarks to do Beast Wars cast, or they rename some characters to reuse trademarks? No, they'll probably go out of their way to get those trademarks and then reuse them throughout the years. Like, look, you'll register Tigatron. You'll put out a Tigatron toy. And then in 2 years from now, you'll be like, okay, maybe we'll do a tiny turbo changer Tigatron. 2 years from now, maybe we'll have some weird, bot shot kind of line that'll need a Tigatron in it. Like, maybe, like, the thing is that we're looking at it from just this one line. Like, oh, well, if they have Tigatron for Kingdom, when will they use him again? There's going to be so many other stuff happening on the side. There might be another Beast Wars cartoon. There might be a Beast Wars movie. There might be, some kind of, like, weird supplemental line like a BotBots or something. Or like tiny turbo changers. Tigatron will find his place in another line. So to register it, to use it once, they won't just use it once. They'll find another place for it. They will. They will for sure. Even if Tigatron isn't in a Beast Wars live action movie, they'll have movie toys that are not in the movie and just do that. Look, Hot Rod wasn't in the Bumblebee movie, but that didn't stop him from having not one, but 2 movie Hot Rod toys based in the Bumblebee movie continuity, where he was like an old Mustang or something. So it happens. It happens. Same thing with Barricade. Barricade wasn't in the movie. He had a toy in the Bumblebee movie toy line. But yeah. Where are we at? Do you think we will see other series besides G1 reissued? We'll see. That's something where, again, like going back to what I said before, I really think that depending on the success of Beast Wars with Kingdom will determine the theme that they want to go moving forward afterwards. They'll look at those Wave 1 sales, because Wave 1 sales are really important, and then they'll be able to kind of figure out, oh, okay, and then go from there and pivot. And you won't even see that answer to those sales in the next series. You'll probably see it from the series after that. But you'll see, for sure. Guys, I just want to say also, we're doing a giveaway today. We're giving away some official... Well, I'm wearing one of them too. So we have... Symbiote Studios is going to be giving out a beautiful Hasbro-sponsored, Hasbro-licensed... here's the Optimus shirt based off of their plush series. Pretty cool. Here's the plush. And each plush comes with a awesome pin to match those. They're all Hasbro licensed. Here's the Soundwave. And he comes if you want, or show accurate, or you could wear it if you want. And he comes with a cool pin too. So they're going to be giving out a gift certificate which gives you all these different options to purchase. All these different little options to purchase. You have the Bumblebee one. Here, I'll show you the Bumblebee one. This one's still in the baggie. It has official Hasbro license. The first ever full line of, ongoing full line of Transformers plush. So there's going to be more in the future. These are really cool. So what we're going to do is I'll ask a question and we're going to get bombarded with all the people who know the answer. And then I have someone who's also in the chat with me today that is going to take all of the right answers and generate them and then give it to me later. And the winner has to be over 18, has to have a registered Twitter account, has to have a registered email account proper, and a registered mail account proper. So make sure you have those 4 things. The reason why we need the Twitter account is because that's how you're going to contact me. It's how I'm going to be able to know that you're not just some dude just trying to, steal someone else's victory. So, what I'm going to ask today is a very simple question. Very, 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 very simple question. And that is, in the Cyberverse series, the character of Strika lost her trademark. She actually lost it many years ago. They had to call it Nemesis Strika when they did it in the Universe series. What is her name now in this new series? What is the trademark name that is used today? So let those hit the fan like crazy, and we're going to collect all of those, and we're going to pick one at random afterwards. We'll do it in like 30 minutes or so. And remember, spelling counts. So yeah. So let's see. I'm sorry, because now everyone is spamming it. I'm trying to go up to the questions. Hey Protoman, out of the Prime Wars trilogy, which toy was your favorite? Oof. Prime Wars trilogy? I don't want to say Hot Rod. I'm going to skip him. Who was really good? Who was really good? I thought the Optimus was awesome. That was like one of the best Optimus Primes in a long while. Especially the fact, like, even not only just the Optimus, that Orion Pax that he turned into was great also. That was really, really good, that Orion. Like, we have yet to get an Orion Pax that looks like that since. That's that show accurate. Is the Abominus reissue worth it? Are you talking about the Takara Tomy one? If so, it's a matter of how much do you want to really pay. Get the exact same mold with all the same stuff, more or less, minus the slight retweaks for 100 to 120, or pay 200 and get the Japanese one. It really is your budget. Where are we at here? Where do we get the shirt you have? So, also, forgot to mention. Thank you, Stephen. If you're interested in the t-shirts, in the plush, in the pins, he has awesome pins too. SymbioteStudios.com. I'll even type it out here. I'll post the link and everything. You go to SymbioteStudios.com, and we have a promotion code. So if you do an order at SymbioteStudios.com and you use the promo code Protoman, all one word, you get $5 off your order. So you get $5 off on me. And there's a lot of cool stuff there. I'll just post the link for everybody. It's right there. And they ship out extremely fast, and it's really high quality stuff. They also have G.I. Joe. They have a cool G.I. Joe Snake Eyes shirt just in time for the G.I. Joe movie that's coming out of Snake Eyes. They have a bunch of other pins too of Transformer stuff. They have other pin sets, which I'll show you guys next week. I'm going to have more shirts by the company, more pins, and different plush too to show off, because they have other video game brands that they have and all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out. It's really cool. Promo code Protoman, get $5 off. A lot of cool stuff. And the winner, by the way, not only is he going to get a gift certificate, but it's free shipping worldwide. So don't even worry about paying shipping either. That's covered too. So if you're in Israel, if you're in Japan, if you're in South America, don't worry. It will be shipped on us. So that's pretty cool. Hey Daniel, how's your night? Just got done watching 86 movie, and it made me want to have a new Perceptor. I think Perceptor is due for a new toy. I think every Perceptor we got thus far just isn't what people want. Like, and I have no problem with like taking what the toy was and using it in other fiction. I thought, honestly, he was really cool in Cyberverse. Like Season 3 Cyberverse, Perceptor was a really cool character, and it would have been really cool to get a toy of him. And that would have been a really good way to kind of have that trademark keep going. So I would love a new Perceptor. He's always been one of those characters I kind of lean on and go, he's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. One moment, guys. I'm just going to make sure the link is good for everybody. I'll post it again for people that didn't catch it the first time. But yeah, I would definitely dig a new Perceptor. I think that he's just one of those characters that, in all honesty, just never got a good... And it's not like his design is dated either. That's the funny thing, is because, like, microscopes are still a thing. You know, it's like, Soundwave, okay. Mini set tapes aren't a thing anymore. I get that. But, you know, like, not having microscopes? Come on, there's no excuse for that one. There really is no excuse for that one. But, otherwise, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Where we at, guys? Perceptor was just used in the trading card game. No, okay. The TCG stuff never used. It didn't count as towards the trademarks, unfortunately. There was a lot of stuff in the TCG that were characters that weren't even trademarked. The TCG is kind of a separate animal through Wizards of the Coast. It really has to be hard goods. Has to be that kind of stuff. Otherwise, like, Hasbro would just, like, release a figure and include, like, a whole bunch of trading cards with it or something to cover their butt. Doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You know, as a funny example of that, HasCon. HasCon that had just passed in 2017. They needed to use the Ultra Magnus trademark. And that little Ultra Magnus head that came with the RC. You know, just that little head. That's all it took. Keep it safe. Keep it sound. What's your opinion on Samurai Prowl? Really good figure. Kind of pricey in the secondary market. I find that it's kind of a watered down version of the original Wave 1 version because it has to have more plastic for that armor and stuff, where the stripped down version, like if you took the stripped down version, you put it next to the Wave 1, you can see, okay, less paint, less plastic, but still a pretty cool toy. Still a pretty cool toy. Protoman, thank you for explaining copyrights and how trading card games don't count. No problem, Michael. And again, the TCG, it extends even beyond that. Like, same thing with Magic the Gathering, which is also owned by the same companies, Wizard of the Coast, which is owned by Hasbro. Every time they do a creature card or whatever, there's no trademarks. Nothing like that. I wish I had them close here for an example. It's all in the other room. Unfortunately, I don't. Damn. I would have loved to show you guys that. Do you like... Oh, yeah. Do you collect, like, and play the Transformers trading card game? Yes. I had a very good relationship with the guys at the Transformers TCG through Hasbro and Wizard of the Coast. And they were very nice, and they would constantly send me booster boxes, promo stuff, and everything. And they were so cool. They were so cool because I think one of them was really a fan of the podcast, and they knew that I lived in Quebec, and Quebec had a bad distribution for the TCG because of language laws. And so they were sending me a bunch of stuff. I got the Energon edition box for free. Like, they were so cool. They were such cool guys. Jason, all of them. Thank you so much for all of that. They were so cool. And I did play. I would play Larry, who's in the chat. Me and him, we would drive from Montreal to Ottawa, and we would play in tournaments with Ultra Maverick and stuff. We would go to launch parties and everything. I love the game. I was hoping we would get more Hot Rod and Rodimus cards so I can make a Rodimus deck, like different versions, and make a whole deck of it. And it fizzled, because the sad reality is, and it's a sad reality, is if you're not Magic, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh, your lifespan as a trading card game is 3 years or less. It is very rare that a trading card game survives. I just picked up recently, I want to show you guys this. Animorphs Tcg. Yes, there was an Animorph board game, trading card game. And it was bananas, the cards, because they were like, look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that crazy? Like, they did a whole bunch of them. Like, look at that. Like you would have, like, hold on, let me find the bear. Isn't that crazy? Lenticular Animorph cards. I picked this up recently for a cool $2 Canadian. So that's probably about a penny or 2 pennies American at this point. And it's just, oh my God. I was so happy to pick this up. You have no idea. But there, again, with the, you mentioned Force of Will. Japanese TCGs survive longer. Japan, and I still argue with people to this day. I feel that Japan really were the first people to ever invent trading card games, CCGs and TCGs. I know that Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast and Richard Garfield gets the claim for that. But there was stuff that they were doing with Dragon Ball back in the day and Cardass stations, which were like a Japanese thing, that predates Magic the Gathering by at least 2 years. So Japan's a different market. They like their TCGs. They stick around. I know it's $1.50. I'm just joking. I'm just saying how bad our dollar is right now. But these are so cool. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Got to get her to transform. Rachel. So cool. I was so happy to get these. Oh, you have no idea. That's a very tough to find board game complete. And it's part of Transformers, technically. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Well, lenticular cards are expensive, so that's why I don't think the Transformer TCG would have done that. Because that's like plastic on top of cardboard. It's not just foil. I saw a question here. If I miss your questions, guys, please ask again. Because everything got like pushed up. Duel Masters didn't last long. What was another one that came out? I mean, look at all the ones that were based off of big brands. Like I think Dragon Ball had like 4 different trading card games, and all of them just went. You know, they had Animayhem, then they did the other one with Upper Deck. Like, there's a whole bunch. It's very tough, the TCG market, especially now in the world we're in today. Rachel didn't have a Tiger Morph. Yeah, well, here's the thing. So you have many different Rachels, and then you could decide what you want her to turn into. It's maybe a dolphin. Rachel Dolphin? I love, you can barely see. There's my Animorphs collection. That's from behind. It's all there. All my miscellanea Transformer stuff are in those weird D-tops, which I hate. I hate D-tops, but they work in the center of a room. They're fine. But I love Animorphs just because it's so weird. Such a weird series of toys. Is Transformer Go a good show? I wouldn't really call it a show so much as a promotional episode kind of thing. They're very short, limited amount of episodes and extremely Japanese. It's good for what it is. I think the toys are fun. I love the toys. I love the gimmicks. The Lucky Draw accessories are extremely cheap in the secondary market if you want to own Lucky Draw stuff. So, I think I have a piece of it nearby here. One of the armors. I found it, oddly enough, at a garage sale 2 years ago. Some guy, I guess, took a trip to Japan, gave it to his son. Have you ever seen the new Animorph graphic novels? No, I have not. No, I have not. I have been very behind on the Animorphs lore. The TJ Omega Animorph toy. What does it turn into? And be nice to poor TJ. Everyone picks on poor TJ. He's not a terrible person. For example, Protoman mentioned in a previous live stream that Hasbro didn't copyright anything from TF Victory. Well, it's, you know, technically Sky Shadow, which is Black Shadow. You know, they have that. You know, one of the, you know, trying to think of another. They have Metal Hawk, I guess, but that's Master Force. Trying to think of, God, No, they don't really have anything that was exclusive to it, unfortunately. But again, it's just the market. Look, they're not going to trademark Laster, Braver, you know, and Blacker, you know, Road Caesar. I would look, and I love Road Caesar. He's one of my favorite combiners of all time. But that would be a tough one. They'd have to like make some really generic names that they could reuse for a bunch of other stuff. Death Cobra. Come on, give me a Death Cobra. Wouldn't that be crazy? Animorphs Tobias the Eagle. I have that one. I love that one. Love Tobias. Fun fact, Iceman from the X-Men movies was in the TV show of that. That was one of his first acting roles. Do you think we will get a Bruticus anytime soon? I think with a name like Bruticus, we're going to get a Bruticus on weird stuff. We're going to get a tough, you know, tank character that's going to be called Bruticus or something in an offshoot series. That's one of those names that just end up in other places. Will we get a Bruticus? Yes. Will it be something we want? Probably not. I'm so down for a Death Cobra. Fun fact, when we were first working on Toxin for TFCon all those years ago, one of the suggested repaints was Death Cobra, but it ultimately didn't happen in the end. We went with Toxin, but I mean, man, I would want a Death Cobra. I'm surprised Third Party never made a Death Cobra. Like that's such a given. Helicopter, you know, Breastmaster, so easy. Someone will buy it. Someone will buy it. People are buying weirder stuff. Why wouldn't they buy that? Road Caligula? Nah. Road President? No, I don't. I think they'll probably use a very generic name, you know. I could see them even going like, oh well, maybe we'll call it like, you know, Autobot Menasor. Like it. Sometimes you get really silly stuff like that would happen. Like there was, what was it? The PVC for Overlord was imported to America in the Heroes of Cybertron line, and it was called Gigatron. And before being called Gigatron, they were going to call it Superion, just because they just had to use something that existed. So, it is what it is, man. Has it been half an hour? Are we going to announce our winner? Are we going to announce our winner? Let me just check. Did we get our winner yet? I have to message my dude. Gotta message my dude. Okay, he's gonna pick a name now, guys. We'll have a winner soon. So again, guys, you have to have a registered Twitter account. And of course, when you win, you go to symbiotestudios.com. You have to register an account with them to purchase something, obviously, so we could track everything and send it to you. And you'll contact me over Twitter. I'll give you all the information. It'll be pretty cool. When did America have Gigatron before that? I think that was probably the first time, to my knowledge. It was probably trademarked for that, and then the thing is, I'm not too sharp on everything that was used for G.I. Joe, but I'm pretty sure they didn't use Gigatron for G.I. Joe. Sidewalk Vigilante. Vagrant, excuse me. Why did I think Vigilante? That'd be funny too. Sidewalk Vigilante. That'd be a good bootleg name. Was the Chopper supposed to be Death Cobra? Yes. Would Hasbro revive the old Snake storyline? I am shocked that Hasbro hasn't done more big media crossovers with Transformers to give more weight into the G.I. Joe brand. Like, just do one episode that calls out G.I. Joe. And if it gets 10 people more interested in G.I. Joe, it's more than the 10 people that weren't paying attention to it before. You know? All right, we have a winner. Sorry, my guy just messaged me. And the winner of the gift certificate, which buys you a bunch of stuff. It's quite a bit of stuff you could buy with that gift certificate. If you go over, you obviously have to pay more. But and the winner of the gift certificate for Symbiote Studios officially Hasbro licensed Transformer product is Dogcade. It was pulled from the hat. So congratulations to Dogcade. According to my guy here, he said a lot of people misspelled Alpha Strike. A lot of people are saying Alpha Strika, which was incorrect. Funny story with that. They had the Strika trademark originally, and it's like, let me pull up the, one moment just for Twitter. So Dogcade, message me on Twitter, and we will work everything out, essentially. And I'll send you all the information you need to know. We will do this again next week, guys, so don't think it's the only opportunity. We will create other opportunities in the future for more prizes and everything. But anyways, as I was saying, the thing is that originally when they did the Beast Machines toy of Strika, it was just called Strika, and they trademarked it Strika. And then that trademark expired, and they were like, okay, well, do we re-register that trademark? And they went to go re-register it, and it wasn't available, oddly enough. And then they did Nemesis Strika, because they were just going to do Strika in the Universe 1.0 line, and it didn't happen. And that was that. And then they did Nemesis Strika. And then when you fast forward to, I think the next Strika was Bakon. I think it was Bakon 2013 or something. They didn't really have to worry about a trademark because she was part of a box set. And that was that. So they were just like, okay, it's Strika, I guess. And that was it. And I think she had the Creo, too. I'm looking. Yeah, she had the Creo figure also. So when they finally got around to this one, you know, the rest is history. I mean, obviously she wasn't animated, but she didn't have a product. She didn't have a toy, unfortunately. So it is what it is. It is what it is, unfortunately. How about a Transformers X Godzilla crossover? Godzilla's huge. Godzilla's the size of buildings. So it'd be kind of an unfair fight. Anyone who saw recently, you know, you had the Mazinger Z versus Transformers crossover. That's already a, you know, mecha that's like huge, and he was towering over the G1 Transformers. He had to fight Devastator to like make it an even match. Godzilla would kind of be like, oof, that'd be kind of crazy. Who do you think is the next MP Beast Wars will be? If I was a guessing man, they want to finish those Season 1 guys, so I'm going to lean on Rhinox. I'm going to lean on Rat Trap. Maybe Waspinator. Maybe Scorponok. I don't think... And the only other one, if they would do Season 2, it's going to be Primal or Megatron Transmetal. But I think they want to finish that Season 1 stuff. I'm going to say Rhinox. I just have this feeling it's Rhinox. That's what I think. Do they need to have the name trademarked even for animation? Nope. No, they don't. Just for product. That's it. You could have, you know, Death Cobra in the show. You could have Grandis in the show. You could have, you know, even the most raciest of names in the show. But when you're doing product, that's a different story. That's why you could have Jazz in the show, Jazz in the show, Jazz in the show. And then when you do a toy, Autobot Meister, you know, or Special Ops Jazz, you know. Proto, any news on the new Transformers CU? CU what? What is that abbreviating? You might have to post that again, Roy. Are Metroplex and Autobot City two different things? Or did Autobot City become Metroplex? Depending on who you ask and depending how much you dig deep into it, some people say Metroplex is a part of Autobot City, of a bigger part of him. Some people say that Metroplex as a whole is Autobot City, and, you know, just as T-Cog was damaged during the attack on Autobot City. I lean more towards him being all of Autobot City, but there has been pieces of visual image where he's just a piece of the bigger Autobot City. So that's really your own call. Godzilla versus Hot Rod Rodimus would be fun to watch. I think you want to have like Godzilla to scale with the Dinobots, but even then, the Dinobots are tiny compared to Godzilla. Godzilla, look, think about it. Even if Grimlock was actually the size of a T-Rex, which he's not, like Grimlock's not even a T-Rex size. Godzilla crushes a T-Rex with his foot. You know, like that that trailer for Godzilla for the 1998 Godzilla movie where he crushes a T-Rex with his foot, like the fossils. That's true. You know, like Godzilla is huge. So it'd be kind of unfair for the Autobots and the Decepticons. Like even the largest Transformers, and I'm not talking like, you know, Metroplex and Fortress Maximus and stuff like that, or even Unicron, but like even stuff like Combiners, like they're still nothing compared to Godzilla's height. He's huge. He's huge, man. Cinematic universe. Well, we don't know yet. They did a press conference where they showed a logo and an Autobot logo saying that, oh, Transformers 7 is in the works, but they call it Transformers 7, but they only call it Transformers 7 because they count it as the 7th movie. Not saying it's continuing the Michael Bay stuff, not saying it's continuing Bumblebee, not saying that it's going to be its own thing. They're just calling it Transformers 7 for now. So we don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know what Hasbro is thinking right now. I was saying before how when you think about it, in 2001 and 2002, we're going to have a 6-episode Earthrise TV series, a two made-for-TV Cyberverse movies, and a live-action movie, and that's it for 2001 and 2002. And I think that's absolutely bonkers. That's like the least that Transformers has had fiction coming out in many years. Like since like the late, like not like the early 90s, like lull that existed before Beast Wars came out. Like it's been that, like that is really bad. I've never seen so little Transformer visual, like not comic books, not toys, just visual animation or movies or, you know, film. That's the longest I've ever seen, like, you know, like so little. 2 years to we're only going to get the Netflix series and those 2 TV movies and a movie. That's it. No, like, you know, 26 episode Transformer series or 52 episode Transformer series. That's bananas. That's really crazy. Serpentera versus Godzilla, a lot more fair. Wind Kingdom come out in 2022. Maybe. We don't really even have a date yet for Earthrise. So, we'll see. Earthrise, I think we're going to be getting before the year is over. You know, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. We'll see what happens. Your thoughts on the Gundam franchise? Oof. Lifelong Gundam fan, loved it for years, was very lucky to have an anime store in the early 90s that was ran by a guy who lived in Japan and was obsessed with Zeta Gundam and forced us to pay attention to Gundam. So shout out to Lou, who owns Sci-Fi Anime, the coolest anime store in Montreal. Been building Gundam kits for years. Years and years and years. I love UC Century. Probably my favorite of all of Gundam is maybe 0083. But I love UC Century in general. 8th MS is awesome too. I love Gundam. Neo Genesis Evangelion versus Transformers? Yeah, I don't know about that one. We could do better than that. There's a lot of other mecha franchises we could cross over. And they already did a crossover with Eva. And that didn't sell well. And then they did one with the other Takara brand. They did it with, what's his name there? Shike Leon. At least we saw Transformer Earthrise footage. Yeah, we saw footage. I just find it weird that they didn't give us a date. I really find that weird because it shows like, I guess most of it is done, right? If they're showing us clips, but I don't know, like, why don't we have a date yet? Because, I mean, are we gonna like, is it gonna come out even this year? That's pretty crazy. When did, I have to go back and look. When were we first teased Siege, and then when did it like, what how long was it until it came out? Like, I have to really look that up, like see what that gap was. Transformers versus Ultraman. Oof, I love Ultraman. But I don't know about Transformers versus Ultraman. Already you have Transformers versus Godzilla, and that kaiju thing is a problem. Power Rangers versus Transformers I've talked about on the podcast. I think that works so well. That's something that can be written very easily. Don't get Gundam markers. Color Sharpies do just the same job. To a degree. I find a good black, thin Gundam marker is good for panel lining. How will Galvatron and Unicron tie into the Beast Wars stuff? Well, considering it's all about alternate universes, different continuities, alternate timelines, alternate destinies, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some shenanigans with that where Unicron and Galvatron show up. For sure. Same thing, why is Rodimus there? I'm pretty sure Rodimus is going to show up with them too. So, how long did it take for us to get a date for Siege? Yeah, exactly. That's just it. Like, when did we see that first trailer measured against when did we get our first date measured against, like, when it came out? First Netflix trailer was February 2020. Really? I thought it was earlier than that. Didn't we know about it even before that? Could have swore it was earlier. Monkey Paw question. If you could have Season 4 of Animated produced and released and a couple of new toys for the shelves, but the show ends on a cliffhanger never to be answered, would you want that? Yes, because we'd still get more than what we have now. In a lot of ways, yes. Because that means we would get more episodes. Because that means we would get more animated toys. Even if it ends on a cliffhanger, it's still better than what we have right now, which is a big old, fat old 0. So... And it has to have Derek Wyatt involved and Marty Eisenberg. That's my other request. You can't have them not come back. That would be wrong, in my opinion. February 19, it was said to be happening, and then the trailer was February 2020. That is even more confusing. Not that I hate Rodimus, but if he's Commander Classroom, then I would have to have an aneurysm. I don't know. I don't think it would work. And Sakamoto. I don't know if Sakamoto should come back. Like, Sakamoto, I love all his work, Hayato, but his involvement in animated is quite limited. Actually, Naato was the one who worked on the animated manga. He worked on that one. It was really good. Came with that free Optimus figure if you buy the collection. I want to see animated Skyfire, Gears, and Sludge. Well, that's just it. Like, imagine, like, if the Monkey's Paw is that we never get anything again after that, well, then it would still be more... I already feel that animated is dead, and we're never going to get anything ever. So the fact that we could get anything ever and then kill it again, fine by me. As long as we get something. As long as we get something. Get more animated. Anything. Give us a Striker. Give us that Hot Shot. Give us that Marauder Megatron. Give us anything. It's true, Fred Willer passed away. Yeah, it's true. Then we wouldn't get Swindle anymore. Derek's favorite. Did you pick up anything on the Toys R Us sale? Only one thing, because it was the only one thing that I didn't have from Siege that was on sale the first time. Because I think it was like, I don't know, you have to check Twitter. I got like crazy deals on Siege from Walmart a while back that were, I think, like almost, some of them were like 60 to 70% off. But I picked up Snapdragon. So get a nice cool deluxe for $19 Canadian. Rock on. Everything else I had, pretty much. This, when I posted that, it was more just to help other people get their cheap robots. Give us a female Red Alert. Exactly. Female Red Alert. Give us the Minerva toy. You know, like, so many opportunities. So many opportunities for more toys and everything. They kept that Marvel Comics going until 1991. Yeah. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. That's actually thanks to Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter kept it alive. Kept the lights on. A lot of people rag on Jim Shooter, but he actually was very good for the Transformers brand. You think we will get a new 86 movie Optimus and Studio series? I don't know about that one. You know, look, you look at your leader class and it kind of already does the job. Like, unless like Michael said, battle damage, I guess. Maybe. Animated Grandis. Oh, I would love an animated Grandis. But only if he like actually opens up and becomes a playset. That'd be so cool. Was it Snapdragon? Yeah, I got Snapdragon on sale. Not Snapdragon. Oh, God. Ape Face. The other one. Ape Face. Did I say Snapdragon? Triple Changer, Headmaster, Horicon. Hey, quick question. What was the point of the G1 decoys that came with the throttle bots back in the day? So, that's a little bit of Japanese history. I will take you for that history. So, in Japan, they have something called keshigumus. They have been a part of Japanese culture for many years. Let's flip the screen here. There we go. These are Japanese ones. So these have existed forever in Japanese culture. They exist of multiple different brands, whether it be Pokemon, whether it be Ultraman, whether it be Super Mario. They've had keshigumus around since the late 70s. They're a Japanese thing. Little rubber. Keshi stands for eraser, like a rubber eraser. And gomu means rubber. So, essentially, they wanted to bring those over. And so they were like, well, how do we create a story around these? Because they're just little rubber figures that are sold in Japan. Those exist all the time. Hasbro wanted to create a story. So they did the little package bio where it says, oh, you know, they're decoys. Like, they use them to distract the army and blah, blah, blah. And that's that. Another example of them, like Tom said over there, the muscles. 1980s muscles. Which we call kinkishis in the collectible community. So instead of keshigumu, we have kinkishi, Kinnikuman Kishi, known as muscles. And that's that. It was just Hasbro going, how do we bring over something that's popular in Japan right now over here and package it with our, you know, our throttle bots and stuff, and the rest, and then they made a story. That's all. Very simple. And they didn't do well. They weren't popular here in America, but they kept going in Japan. There was Transformers 2010 decoys. There was Transformers Headmaster decoys. There was Combiner decoys. There was oversized decoys. I have the two Rodimus ones over there. You know, kept going over there for years. They did box sets like I just showed of like my collection. They did glow-in-the-dark ones. What's your favorite non-TF show? I don't know. That's a loaded question. I have a lot of favorite shows. I don't know. Initial D. It's a racing anime. I don't know. That's a tough one. There's a lot of shows I like. Initial D is definitely one of them. Like something that really has a strong impact and reflection of what I enjoy. It's probably one of them, definitely there. Protoman, the discussion about Japanese merch makes me wonder, why doesn't Hasbro license TF like crazy? Wouldn't licensing out trying to maintain the copyrights? Here's the problem. They do license it out, but they license it out to stuff like bedsheet companies. You know, if you buy a cup with Optimus Prime's face on it, all that kind of stuff. The thing is that when you license out stuff to make toys, you don't want another company doing what you do. So let's say Hasbro lets another company make toys for them. What if those toys suck? Then it makes them look bad, and it's not Hasbro made toys. So it's something where they could do that, but I think they rather just license it out to guys who make beach towels and cups and posters and trading cards and stuff like that. It's just safer for them. And let's be real, Transformers is their most important brand that they own, that they actually own. They do Star Wars. They don't own Star Wars. They do Marvel toys. They don't own Marvel. Transformers is their baby. So they better not risk it with Transformers just to license it out to anybody. They do plushies. Exactly. Hasbro licensed. You know, they do plushies. They license it out. But the toys, that's too risky for them. They would never do that. And they also micromanage that stuff too. Like the people who do the license stuff, you don't think Hasbro goes, oh no, you're not allowed to do that. If Symbiote Studios all of a sudden decides to go, we're gonna make, you know, a certain character, and Hasbro's like, no, we don't want you to do that, they can't do it. You know, so there's a certain mandate with that kind of stuff too. What are your thoughts on Spotlight Hot Rod movie? Thoughts on a Spotlight Hot Rod movie? I love Hot Rod, but I think if we did a movie, we could do more than just spotlight one character. I think we could do more. I really do. I really, really do. I want a bunch of characters interacting, not just Hot Rod alone. Where's that Shadow Raiders review? Dinobot, I'm going to do it one day. I promise. I promise. I really want to do it. I want to do a review of all those toys. If not, one day we'll do a stream where we just have all the toys and I'll talk about them. And then we'll get a live review of it. I'm actually going to be, within the next 2 months, it's been really tough because of just, you know, the big V. So, but I really want to upgrade all the equipment and stuff. I want to get a brand new computer. I'm going to get a brand new webcam, a nice net. I'm going to up the internet power. Like, we're gonna upgrade this whole setup and do something really cool. But when we do that, I'll be able to also have, you know, face-to-face with guests. We'll have screens with guests and stuff, and that'll include bringing in toys and talking about them more and everything. Do they actually let others do their Transformer toys, Protoman? No, they really... You're not going to see many, like you're going to have McDonald's maybe. You know, that's about... And McDonald's pays big money for that license, let me tell you. They do, to sell millions of Happy Meals. Symbiote had to be recognized, the factory, and the new equipment, and all that, just to get the licensing. Yeah, that's how it works. They're not just going to give it to anybody. Because if the product is garbage, then it makes them look bad, you know? So they always have to make sure they micromanage that stuff. And again, they also control what they do ultimately in the end. If they do something that's, you know, they don't have plans for, it's a different story. Action Men, Mask, Visionaries. They license model kits, yeah. That's by Trumpet Studios. That's, and what do you call it? And Flame Toys. You know? And even those ones, they micromanage those stuff. They make sure. But when it comes to the action figure retail market, I am pretty sure they want to play it safe with that, man. And in the case of Flame Toys, trademarks aren't an issue there because it's the Japanese market, which trademarks are a completely different animal than the American market. Best iteration of Galvatron? Ox Studio Design Galvatron. Let me get the old art book. Is this a good version of it? It's probably not a good art book. Probably should get the other one. Why did I pull this one out? Any good art in this one? No, this isn't the good one. One sec. Where's the Visual Works book? Get the Visual Works book. This beauty. Any Galvatron from this. The Studio Ox stuff. That Galvatron looks amazing. Look at those shoulders. Look at that. Look at that. Even from the cover. You know? Look at that Galvatron. Isn't that badass? Love that Galvatron. Transformers 2010 Manga Galvatron. That's my Galvatron. And they did one figure that kind of looks like that, and that was the BotCon Japan 1998 Super Hybrid Collection Galvatron. Let's see if you guys can see that. Look at that. With Studio Ox Rodimus, my favorite design of Rodimus. Obari. Obari as F. Love it. Sorry if I miss any questions. Why is Galvatron 2 so awesome? Because he is. Because he's Galvatron 2. Creo sat on the shelf, and then they had to be discontinued and cleared for inventory. Oof. Studio Series. Studio Series. My brain today, I swear. Creo, like, served a major purpose, though. Like, it trademarked a bunch of stuff for Hasbro. Like, the entire Combiner Wars line wouldn't have had all those names if not for Creo. Because they did the Creo Combiners the year before. But ultimately, in the end, like, it didn't sell well. People were not interested. They really just wanted the minifigs in the end. And that's the only thing that survived, really. Hey, Proto, do you play GBGW? I need something that is an abbreviation. Does it stand for GoBots Gundam Wing? Why do you think the crossover they've been doing, both toy and comic Ghostbusters? My Little Pony, Terminator, Back to the Future. I liked the Ghostbusters comic. It was really good. It's written by the same guy that's going to be doing the Beast Wars book. So I didn't read the Back to the Future one yet. I didn't read the My Little Pony one yet. And the art in the Terminator one was awesome, but the story was, yeah. I wasn't a big fan of the story on that one, but the art was really good. Art was amazing on that one. I wouldn't mind if Hasbro revived Creo as mystery figs. Well, they'd have to talk to that Korean company that they work with that does Creo, so that's also another reason. What are your thoughts on Fire Emblem? I love Fire Emblem, but oddly enough, the Fire Emblem game I probably played the most was Fire Emblem Warriors, which isn't your typical Fire Emblem game. It's the one from the Switch, so. Was there never a Scramble City playset for Transformers? Protons. Proto. Scramble City is technically Metroplex, so technically there was a playset. What's the best place to buy Transformer comic books online? Oof, I don't know about that one. I always go to my local comic book store. eBay? I just go to I've been literally using the same comic book store forever for my comics. So, I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to go otherwise. Something I never thought about. How would you feel about a Transformers versus Sonic the Hedgehog? How about no? How about the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog ruined the Mega Man comic book because they kept doing crossovers with that when they should have just been focusing on the story, and Archie was too busy trying to save their dying Sonic the Hedgehog license that they kept losing. I'm not going to go on a rant on that. And how they pretty much wasted the Mega Man trademark. And now that comic book is in limbo forever. And now Boom Studios has the Mega Man trademark for the comics. So yeah. Is the Street Fighter X Transformers toy line official or third party? It's official, and it is really cool. I love that line. I have both releases, and they are amazing. Specifically, the Hot Rod Ken/Chun-Li RC release. I love it. Which one is your favorite Pretender figure? Easily Metal Hawk. I love Metal Hawk, but if I had to go outside of Metal Hawk, then probably Bludgeon. Bludgeon's such a unique Pretender shell. I also like Duros, which is Skullgrin. Landmine's a pretty cool one too. And even Oil Master from Bakon. Pat Lee from Dreamwave. The wiki states there was a lot of controversy after Dreamwave closed down. So Pat Lee is a fellow Montrealer. I met him 4 or 5 times in my life. Got to sit down and talk with him quite a bit. Probably the nicest human being to talk to. Super friendly, super nice, super open-minded. Don't lend him $5. That's what it is. He's one of those guys that he's a super nice dude, but he's not someone that should be a business owner. And I think that that was his weakness, is that Pat liked cars. He liked spending money. He liked clothing. And he had a talent. And he had a good extroverted energy about him as a person. So people liked him. And when you were trying to make business deals, you want to have someone like that. But he wasn't a good businessman for a company. And so he was bad with money. And there's a lot of controversy with that. Even Matt Moylan, Udon, who's, Matt's a really good friend of mine. He doesn't have very nice things to say about Pat. So, but Pat was a nice dude to me always. He drew me original art like crazy. He was like, hey, name a character, Hot Rod. I have original art of Hot Rod by Pat Lee. Hot Rod, Brawn, Megatron. He just needed reference, though. He couldn't do it off the top of his head. But Dreamwave had some really good comics. You know what I mean? Like, War Within was amazing. War Within was a great comic. A good chunk of the Armada comic was really good. I love the Armada comic. It's very underrated, especially that Minicon Moon arc was very well done. I liked what Dreamwave was doing. And it's not because I knew Pat and he was a nice guy. I liked that stuff. But Pat was a terrible businessman. He wasn't good with money. That's why I always say, nicest guy in the world, don't lend him $5. That's always been the statement about Pat Lee. It's always been that. They did a Mega Man comic that was very good too. And it only went 4 issues. I wish it went longer. I never read the Dreamwave comics, but I've seen screenshots of all the cameos. I always love cameos. Well, then you love War Within. War Within has tons of background characters. Tons of them. It's a game of Where's Waldo with War Within. And that's Don Figueroa who drew that. And Don is a talent all in himself, too. He's super talented. But War Within is such an amazing book. To me, that's almost my pre-G1. Like, I almost, like, in my little fanon, War Within is almost like, that's my prequel to G1 cartoon. Like, in my own fanon, because it's so well done. Do you think there's a higher interest by Hasbro of TF Collector market more than ever now before? It's always been the same. I think it's actually less than, let's say, 2009 to 2012. It's just that the toy market has shrunk heavily from the regular everyday kid buying toys. So they kind of have to focus more on collectors, but the number of collectors and the profit they're making is probably the same as it always was from the collector market. But unfortunately, everything's kind of in a decline. What other G1 characters would you predict for the RED line? Starscream. Who am I? Shockwave. Pick your random Beast Wars character like Optimus Primal or someone popular. Bumblebee from Prime. It has to be someone popular. And like, where's our Devastator? Where's our Grimlock? Is it going to be Dino mode? Is it going to be regular mode? Those not the ones I want. The ones that they will do. But yeah, give us a history lesson on the character Battle Gaia. Repaint of Bruticus was intended to be technically the leader of the Decepticons during the Operation Combination story, and didn't have much of a story. And then Guard City did his Operation Combination energy attack and beat him, and that's it. In the old fanon community, back when Car Robots came out, people used to speculate that Guard City, who was called Fire Chief, the centerpiece, became Fire Convoy, and the others became part of the Car Robots team, and Battle Gaia would end up becoming Valdigus, also known as Bruticus in Robots in Disguise. But there's not much to Battle Gaia, unfortunately. Very limited story page character from the quiet era of G1 Japan in Operation Combination and Battlestars. Hasbro hasn't done anything much with GoBots either. Well, it's tough to do that when you own the names but you don't own the designs. That's where it gets really difficult. And what they did with that GoBots comic with Tom Sicoli, which was amazing, by the way. Go read that book. Don't spoil the ending for people. Go read that book. Tom Spicoli did an amazing job with the GoBots brand for IDW. It's a great, fun, weird little book. That's all I'm going to say. Can you send me some Kinder eggs over borders illegally? I miss having them. Well, I'm pretty sure I could send them over the border. I learned the hard way that you can't cross the border with them, though. They'll give you a fine and throw them out. But I luckily didn't get caught. I'm not going to try that again. What's your favorite Transformer mold in the last 5 years? I don't know. It's probably a masterpiece. I don't know, Dinobot. He's pretty cool. I don't know. That's a tough one. What was in the? I'd have to see what's been the last 5 years. What's my cutoff point, and then what can I look from that point on? I don't know. There's a lot of really good ones. That's putting me on the spot. You know, we've done. Me and Jaws D have done like our top 5 Transformers every year, and you know, like they're in the archive. You can just type top 5 Transformers of 2019 Transformers Slag, top 5 Transformers 2018 Transformers Slag. It'll give you an idea of some of my favorites and Jaws D's too. And we also do a fan vote also every year, which I'm kind of curious how we're going to do it this year. If I can't get Jaws D in person for it, maybe I'll get like a floating head, and we'll just have him talking in the background. Do you think they'll do another Rescue Bot series after Academy? Well, they concluded Rescue Bots. They will not be continuing the Rescue Bot show and/or toy line. Probably that decision comes due to low sales. So if it's low sales in the preschool market for Transformer toys, I think that kind of gives you your answer of what they want to do in the future. Maybe they'll use the Rescue Bots trademark and name in something else. Maybe they'll use it as a subline or something, but I don't think we're going to be seeing preschool Transformer stuff for a bit, because by them discontinuing it, it shows that sales were not as good. Speaking of which, there's a way to get in touch with Scott McNeil for autographs that you know of. His Facebook. Scotty has a Facebook that he actually checks. Him and David Kay. That's probably the best way is Facebook. A lot of those voice actors, they're constantly on their Facebook. Gary Chalk also, always on his Facebook. Pretty sure there's a way to contact them. Any fan could just go, hey, yo. I smuggled many Kinder eggs from the Netherlands back. You're a brave man. Do you think the new Beast Wars series would work if it came with different team members of each side, other than Optimus and Megatron? Sure. You know, something fresh. Obviously, it would be a departure for the casual fans that are like, yeah, I remember Beast Wars growing up. Oh, why isn't Cheetor there? Oh, why isn't the rat guy there? Where's the Rhino dude? Like, it wouldn't work with those fans. But with us hardcore fans, we would always love to have something a little different, you know? Especially if it's pre-existing characters, like in terms of toys that never got fleshed out outside of the Japanese stuff. People would dig that. To get Polar Claw done properly, that'd be cool. How well do you think stuff like Studio Series and Earthwise sell to kids? Probably not that great, I'll be honest with you. Most of the toy market today, look, I run toy conventions, and while, you know, Montreal should not be a representation of the rest of North America and its market, it is an example. And me running toy conventions multiple times a year in Montreal, I don't see kids. I do, but it's 1 out of every 100 people. Most people are over 18 that are collectors. And even 18, I think it's maybe push it up to 25 now at this point. Flip side of that, TFCon. I don't see as many kids as I see adults. It's just the same. And the one-day shows that Colin runs that I go to, same thing. The one-day toy shows, 80s Toy Expo, Action Figure Expo, HeCon, Echo Base, all of those. I don't see kids. There is, but it's a drop of, water in the ocean in comparison. And that is concerning. What's hilarious? Like, I did a die-cast car convention with my father. And it was in a church, like, basement. They did it, like, where they do their weddings. And the reception. And we did that die-cast car convention, I think it was, I want to say 2 years ago. And after I did it, it dawned on me that I was the youngest guy there at 35 years old. Yeah, I think it was like 2 years ago. And that was crazy. I'm the youngest guy there. Everyone was over 60. And that just shows how that market is. It's the same thing. There's going to be a time where the toy market is going to be old dudes like me in their 60s. And yeah, you'll have 1 or 2, retro collectors that are young guys that are 18 that still like toys. But it's going to be primarily they're there for the pop vinyls. It's a different market. The market is changing heavily. But that's just the way evolution is, It's like things that were popular in the 1950s, Dick Tracy, Flash Gordon, Johnny Quest, that's more the 60s, are not popular today. Stuff that were popular in the 60s, not popular today. Stuff that were popular in the 70s, not popular today. G.I. Joe was huge in the 80s. Real American hero. It's still around, but it's not as popular as it was back then. Things change. Nintendo was a technology. They survived. They evolved. The world went in that direction. They survived the 80s. Some Nintendo nerds said, I just lost it, went to a toy convention before the big V and there were no kids. There were a few teens, but most were adults. Thank you. Where are you from, some Nintendo nerd? Oh, and we have a super chat by Joseph Ritter, and he wants to know, do you like BMW motorcycles? I'm not big on motorcycles in general. The BMW dealership that I work at doesn't really work with motorcycles because we're a car thing. Like, I'm pretty sure they have motorcycle guys, but they wouldn't be at our dealership. I'm not a big motorcycle guy. They're easy to fix, motorcycles. They're way easier to fix than cars because there's way more access to the engine, and they're a lot more simpler than cars. But I'm not a big motorcycle guy. Where are we at here? Where we at, Jack? He's from California. California is the convention capital of North America, in my opinion. Cali has all the best conventions. And if he's going to Cali, which has the best conventions, the most walk-through traffic, and he's not seeing kids, look, Cali's on one side of the coast, I'm on Montreal on the other. It's a reality. It's a reality. And again, my father, who's a toy collector himself, and seeing how his market is evolving and changing and phasing out. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Do you know why they canceled the Transformers Universe MMORPG? Lack of interest, the budget wasn't there. It was supposed to be part of the Align continuity. The Align continuity was getting dropped completely because it was already like the end of Transformers Prime and they were going in another direction. We were going into that new era of the 2013, 2014 John Warden era, so it was going to be a different thing, a different vibe. A lot of different reasons. But ultimately, in the end, it got discontinued. Just got Earthrise Cliffjumper today. He's unironically now my favorite Earthrise figure. Well, that's awesome. I love Cliffjumper. Protoman, what do you honestly expect out of the arc? I don't want to talk about it. I know too much. Let's put it that way. I know too much about the arc. Do you play Earth Wars? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. They call me Ranch because I be Dressin. I love your name, by the way. I play Earth Wars. My team is called the Chosen Ones of Primus. You come join us if you want. I think I have 2 other members from the TFW 2005 groups. But yeah, I still play. Still to this day, I still play. The event right now is you can get some G1 and Earthrise skins for your characters. And there was a Hot Rod event not too long ago before that. My team is Optimus Primal, Rodimus Prime, Windblade, not Windblade. So it's RC, Optimus Primal, Rodimus Prime, oh God, who else? Oh, Silverbolt. Who else? Why am I forgetting this? I use these guys every day. Oh my God, I'll have to pull it out. It's on my iPad that I'm using right now. I use these guys every day and I totally forgot what my team is. I know my best Decepticon on my Decepticon team is Scourge. I have a 4-star Scourge. My Silverbolt is G1. What can you say about the arc that we don't know? That more than one thing transforms on it. That's it. Protoman sometimes gets to consult with Hasbro, lucky guy. More than you imagine. But yeah. Still waiting for Hasbro to release Studio Series. Well, Hasbro's doing their thing right now. I'm telling you, man, without having San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con, everything is messed up. Everything from planning, they plan like a year out for San Diego Comic-Con. Like they plan for a year. Like if it's like SDCC in July of 2019, they're like, all right, let's plan for July of 2020. Oh no, what just happened? So everything just got derailed, man. And that's why like reveals have been weird. You know, what is not being revealed, what is being revealed. They don't want to reveal this because the trademark hasn't been done yet. And that's very important too. You have to understand something. When you trademark something, it's trademarked for 4 years. So why would you trademark it a year in advance and then do the reveal? They want to trademark it and then do the reveal as soon as possible. But if someone leaks the toy early and they didn't trademark the name yet, some company, if they want to be assholes, you know, like Mattel could just go, oh, there's a Scourge toy coming and they didn't trademark Scourge yet? Swoop. You know? If they want to do it, they'll do it. It's not cool, but they'll do it. But we'll see. We'll see. There's still a lot to be revealed. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, man. Like, I was actually surprised by how little was shown at that, like, what was it called there? Fan First, the Transformer Tuesday. I don't even know what the hell they call it anymore. They changed the names. Fan First Friday, Transformer Tuesday, and then they did another one. When they showed all the Kingdom toys. Like, I was surprised that they really just showed, like, only 2 or 3 things that were really new. So, there's a lot more, man. There is a lot more. PulseCon, there you go. I don't know. I can't even keep track of it anymore because it's all just made up stuff. That's just because we don't have conventions. Just 2 days ago, there was Hot Topic Con, which was Hot Topic because New York Comic Con didn't happen. So Hot Topic had all of these exclusives that they were supposed to have at New York Comic Con Because it didn't happen, now they did Hot Topic Online Con, so you could get these pop vinyls and these keychains and pins and da-da-da and all this. Like, the big V screwed up so much on so many different levels that people, like, just can't comprehend. You know, it's nuts. It's so crazy. Like, legit, guys, legit. If we would have had San Diego Comic-Con, we would have already seen the Arc in person. We would have already seen the Arc. We would have already seen most of maybe not the Studio Series. I think they would have saved Studio Series for New York Comic-Con, which would have been now already. But we would have seen everything. We wouldn't be so far that the Walmart listings would exist. Because it's very rare in the past that, like, we have these Walmart listings and then we find out about the product. Usually we find out about the product and then the Walmart listings show up. So I ain't gonna call it by its name. I don't want my videos getting flagged. We lost one of our live streams because I slipped. YouTube is brutal. Lost the complete, like, you know, we got to do our live stream, but then we lost the replay, which is nutty. They did say Toy Fair 2020 is still on. We shall see. We shall, that's going to be 2021. We shall see. Jarvis Center, New York. We shall see. New York is not looking good right now. I don't get your hopes up. Hey, I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong so we can get out of this. We shall see. We shall see. Like, every single date for every con for next year, I'm not, like, writing it down, you know, to get plane tickets. Let's put it this way. I'm waiting it out. Last thing I need is to get a plane ticket and then find out it's not happening, and then I can't refund my plane tickets, you know. We shall see. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Protoman, with the toy market changing, aren't, like, kids getting smarter to the point where they don't need kiddie toys? It's not that they're getting smarter. It's that what was enjoyable and cool at one point isn't anymore. When kids were in the 50s and the 60s, they loved fishing, they loved die-cast cars, they loved that kind of stuff. Toys got more complex. They became more, you know, commercials for television shows. Television started to become more a thing in the 60s and the 70s. So toys with a brand, with a comic book that could combine with that became more the popular thing. And then it exploded in the late 70s thanks to George Lucas with Star Wars. And then, of course, He-Man, you know, Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all the big brands in the 80s and the 90s. But then video games really hit their stride in 1985 and 86 and 87 when Nintendo came. And then that became the new popular toy with kids. And that became the new kind of play. The reality is, it's not even video games. Do you want to know what kids want every single Christmas? A cell phone. An iPad. They don't even, like, some of them want a Nintendo Switch, but if they were asked Nintendo Switch or a new iPhone, a lot of them go with the iPhone. All it takes is to have a kid and sit in an elementary school for 5 seconds and see the environment and what kids value. It's nuts. It's nuts. But it's an evolution. It's an evolution of it. And it'll be something else. One day, you know, you're going to, like, those kids who are on the iPhones, they're going to be, like, still tapping away or whatever when they're in their 40s and 50s, and their kids are going to be like, look at Dad with his iPhone. You know, we use cerebral now minds, you know, and project our images for entertainment now. Like, who knows? It's just, it's an evolution. It's an evolution of things. It's not a stupid evolution. It's just, that's just how it is. The what is considered fun changes. In the same way that what you find entertaining, another person might not find entertaining. You know, think about, like, in the 90s, there were so many sports stars that were, like, cultural icons. Jose Canseco, Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Joe Montana. Why am I forgetting people? But like there was so many of that. In the 90s, it almost doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because kids don't care about sports. They don't really care about sports. If you don't care about sports, you don't have these crazy 90s icons of sports. Who's the Wayne Gretzky of today that's this crazy 90s icon? Sidney Crosby, maybe? How many kids even know who Sidney Crosby is? Who's the big Michael Jordan of this era now? Is there anyone that can even be a Michael Jordan? It's kids have different things that they like now. Toys have changed due to what materials were cheaper to use at the time. We don't have wood toys because plastic is cheaper. And we're starting to lose the quality of plastic because that's getting more expensive too. That's another issue also. Do you remember the glasses that had mini TVs inside? They got banned because they caused too many incidents. Yeah, well, also I would imagine having screens that close to your eyes would probably not be good for your eyesight, especially if it's a dot matrix screen or scan line. TF toys went through a big change, usually die cast metal to plastic. It's not only that. Look, TFs were huge. They peaked probably at 1985, 1986, and then kids stopped caring. They liked Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then when the Ninja Turtles weren't popular, they liked Power Rangers. And then when the Power Rangers weren't popular, and we were going into the mutant era, they liked the X-Men and mutant cartoons and stuff. And then when that was dying and going down, it was back to Beast Wars and CG cartoons. And again, Transformers became popular. I firmly believe Beast Wars' success was not because the toys were great, but because they had a CG cartoon at a time when CG cartoons were not common, and we were just years off of Toy Story rocking the world. And then after that, then Pokemon became huge. And then they were importing Japanese stuff, and then Japanese anime became huge. It's an evolution of that. It's whatever happens next with kids. Ah, the Corgi Batmobile. My dad has that. Had a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of gimmicks. He has that. There's a great video online where I interview my dad and his toy collection. Check it out. It's a Protoman Father's Day special on YouTube. Really cool video. Leave a comment. My dad actually likes to read the comments because he likes showing off his collection. By what year do you think the plastic quality TFs will be so poor that it'll feel like gold plastic syndrome? I don't think it'll ever get that bad. They'll just keep increasing the price. Hey man, deluxes are going up by $3. Deluxes are going up by $3 next year. They'll just keep increasing the prices. Increase the price, lower the part rollout, lower the paint application rollout. This is supposed to be, you know what, just to give you an idea. This is considered a deluxe transformer that costs, God, what was its MSRP? $19 this? This is a deluxe class transformer. The light is literally penetrating it because it uses MABS plastic and SABS plastic with polyurethane, some of it, which is like all the cheap plastics. This is a deluxe transformer, okay? This is a deluxe transformer from Animated. Same, and they're right next to each other. I'm not like making one look taller than the other. Look at the amount of paint difference, the use of clear plastics, the actual PVC, and use of ABS plastic, thick ABS plastic, no hollow. This one's making all the sounds. This one, solid. Wibbly. Look at that. Look at that. Gotta really shake it just to get those legs to move. This guy, 2010, 2019. In 9 years, look what happened. How old is my dad? Ooh, that's a good question, Gamma. Almost 70. Almost 70, I want to say. His birthday is in February. I want to say almost 70. He was born in... Let me just do the math right now. He was born in 51. I'm so bad. I'm sorry, guys. He's 69. He's 69. So he's almost 70. But he's sharp as a whip. Let me tell you, when you watch the video, you'll be like, damn, your dad's cool. A lot of people say that. A lot of people like my dad. Oh, we have a, yet again, we have another super chat from Joseph. What do you think of the Chibi Loyal Subject Transformer failed? Was it because it didn't transform? I think it was a fact that Transformer fans and that market don't really care about like that vinyl scene. You know what I mean? Like Tokidoki, Kid Robot, like that kind of stuff. Transformer fans don't really care about that kind of stuff. Like it's the same thing. Like Transformer statues, they never do well. Transformer statues. It's like if they make a Transformer statue, it's got to be like 1 of 10 because the 10 statue guys will care, and that's it. It's a whole other market. Will RED fail? I give it 4 waves. After they do the high beat characters, the Optimuses, the Megatrons, the Soundwaves, and everything, when they're going to start doing the obscure stuff, no one's going to buy it because that mainstream market, and I really think they should have done Build-A-Figure stuff from day one. That would have, making Build-A-Figure part of the line right from the get-go would have made people buy whole cases of stuff. But they didn't do that, and I think that was a big mistake. That was a big, big mistake. The Build-A-Figure idea was created because retailers, specifically at the time, and this is going way back, Zellers and Toys R Us were saying, hey, like people are coming in, buying 2 figures, and that's it. You know, we want to be able to move the whole case. They created the Build-A-Figure, and then people had to buy the whole wave in order to get that Build-A-Figure. My dad might be a boomer, but he was also a hippie. So he's a different kind of boomer. He was a 1960s hippie who loves his Rolling Stones and stuff. So it was more screw the man. Forget that. I think in the video, in the Father's Day video, he was wearing like a surfer shirt and he has a backwards baseball cap on. So just to give you an idea, my dad's a very different human being. Do you like Action Masters? I like the new characters they created. I understood why the line existed. Action Masters were created during a time where action figures were really popular. Ninja Turtles was killing it in the market. Smaller, cheaper action figures that had accessories and play sets. Guess what Hasbro was going to do? Smaller action figures with cheaper play sets, you know? So I understood what Action Masters' purpose is. And it gave us some cool stuff. Mainframe was a really cool character. Kickoff was a really cool character. We got Omega Supreme, you know? Got a lot of cool stuff out of Action Masters, so it wasn't all that bad. In Japan, it always amazes me at toys that have they constantly have available. That's a different market. It's a very small country, guys. Very small country. You know, like you could fit Japan inside California like 7 times. You know. It's a lot easier to manage the stores, the market, and everything when you have a much smaller country and a lot less surface to cover. Daikon is still a thing in Japan? Yep. They literally have a toy line that's aimed at guys in their 40s and 50s. And it's a high-end toy line. And it's doing very well, oddly enough. I actually tweeted one of their commercials. It's a little bit of copyright. What is your favorite Transformers War for Cybertron toy line? Well, probably is going to be Kingdom, I get a feeling, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there. But I'll have to go with Earthrise just because I like it more than Siege. Earthrise had a lot of really cool stuff. Just because I like the modulators. I like stuff like that, like the little bases and everything. And these guys, even these dudes, you know, these base former, you know, like Sound Barrier and Slitherfang, like I love these dudes. They're so cool. Do you think Bumblebee sequel will be a retread of the 2007 movie? I think they'll probably look at the success of the first Bumblebee movie and go, do we want to do another time thing? Which I think they will. Maybe it'll be Bumblebee in the 90s. Hey, Bumblebee, remember Blockbuster Video? And GAC? And Pogs? Bumblebee's back in Pog form. You know what's hilarious? I recently unearthed my Pog collection not too long ago, actually. It's upstairs. And it is crazy, my old Pog collection. Maybe I'll save that for a future video, a future stream. What's a Pog? Well, we know who's under 18 here. Pogs were a very popular play pattern toy. It was these cardboard circles that you stacked and you smashed them and you played for keepsies. Long before there was Beyblade and kids got together and played Beyblade, there was Pog. Pogo-bee. I have 3 tubes of Pogs and Slammers. There you go. Some people that still know what Pog is. I actually had it in books. Like I had it in pages because I collected Pogs because I was crazy. And there were years later looking back at it, there was like bootleg Brave Pogs that I had. You know, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. One sec. Hold on, guys. I just want to show you guys just because it's so wacky. So, this is my Pog book from back in the day. So we also had the Pog Maker. Me and my sister had it, where you can make your own Pogs, which essentially what the machine was is... did they do Transformer Pogs? Nope, there was never official Transformer Beast Wars Pogs, oddly enough. There was Transformer Beyblades, if you will. They were called Spin Fighters, which was another popular thing in the 90s. But they never made Pogs. So, but I'll show you some weird bootleg kind of stuff afterwards. So these were pretty much you cut out a perfect circle. The machine made a perfect cutout circle of if you took a magazine, you're like, oh, I want to make a Pog out of that, and then you popped one of these out and you took the sticker off, and then you can make your own Pogs and stuff, or milk caps or whatever they call it. So all my Pogs were like bootleg stuff. I had some original Pogs, so I'll try to do this with you guys here. So there was these were like fake Street Fighter Pogs. So it was like fake Street Von Duke. Kind of looks like Terry Bogard. I'm going to try to get closer here. Ugh. These like weird Street Fighter Pogs. This one clearly, there's one here, where is it? Oh, this one here. That's clearly a ripoff of Psylocke art from Jim Lee from the 90s. So here's like these ones here. These are bootleg of Brave. Isn't that X-Kaiser? That one kind of looks like Goldorak, actually. Look at that. That's got to be X-Kaiser. Go with me, X. And imagine, I had this, I must have been like 9 years old, and I had no idea what X-Kaiser was when I was 9. You know? Look at that. Isn't that crazy? You have like monster trucks. It's just Pog. Pog. Here's some Spawn. Spawn Pogs. There's some 90s for you. X-Men. Look, there's a Deadpool Pog. There you go. Deadpool. Bret Hart Pog. Wrestling. Hey, man. And then you got Wario. They did Pogs of everything. Power Ranger Pogs. There you go. What else do we got here? Well, it's Dulcea from the Power Ranger movie. Oh, hubba hubba. I got, oh, you want to talk about 90s? Goosebumps Pogs. Hey, kids, remember Goosebumps? Yeah, Sailor Moon Pogs. Donkey Kong Country, The Mask. Anyways. That is Pog. I actually have more, but they weren't in books. They were like, this was just like the ones that I collected in my books. But I actually got these recently because my parents were cleaning out their crawl space and they found them. And I was like, oh man. But yeah, that is Pog for anyone under 18 that had no idea what I was talking about. How could Hasbro reissue G1 Jetfire and it would still be legal? It would be impossible. They're not allowed to touch that mold. They're not allowed to touch that mold at all. It was a temporary thing. Sailor Pog. It's a Pog based off of the Sailor Moon doll toys. They did a line of Pogs based off of those. My sister got a whole bunch of them. It was during G2. There weren't any official TF Pogs that I remember. There wasn't any, no. Pog didn't touch Transformers. Like I said, that one bootleg of X-Kaiser from Brave, that's about as close as you get of Transformer Pog. And there was Pogs of everything, so it's kind of crazy when you think about it. And Beast Wars came way too late for them to be any Pogs. What's your favorite War for Cybertron leader class? Let's go with Overlord. Overlord's pretty cool. Can't knock Ultra Magnus, though. Ultra Magnus is really good, too. But let's go with Overlord. Overlord's a pretty good toy. I think he made it on my top 5 of the year. Of that year that he came out. Proto, what's your favorite Siege and Earthrise figure? I don't want to spoil this because Earthrise I don't want to say because that's going to be for a video in the future for the top 5 Transformers of 2020. But Siege I'm going to go with probably Jetfire. Jetfire was really impressive. I was really happy with Jetfire. He was really cool. But I also liked a lot of like the deluxes in general. A lot of the deluxes really impressed me. Oh, Rose Titan Returns. Oh, was it? Jesus. Okay. So leader class. Well, then Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus was really good. Ultra Magnus was really, really good. I was so contemplating like displaying him without the armor because I loved the white Optimus under it. Because it was so nice to finally have that again, like as an armor. And not be third party. What's your favorite War for Cybertron Siege? The Reflector 3-pack set. That was okay. That was cool. I liked the box. The box was really cool with it. The box was half of the selling point. Cog needs a Pog. Who is your favorite character in TF Zone animated episode? Oh, I don't know. The 4 that actually had lines. I like Sonic Bomber. I thought he was cool, a cool character. He was kind of like the Hot Rod sidekick character. I mean, I don't know, Moon Raider. There's like almost nobody in that show that really has lines that could be defined as a character. If you want to count the kids. Ibushi-san, the little like Pikachu character. Ibusu. Curious if legal action will affect the Jetfire Funko pop. It's so... You know what's crazy about that? Because, like, I don't know how it works, because right now I forget which company has the rights to do Robotech stuff. Because I know that Funko can't do anything with Robotech right now. And I don't know if this is Funko showing that since they can't do Robotech stuff, they're going to do this and see what happens. It's very weird. I talked about it in the Funko segment. It was very confusing how that's going to work. But considering that he's going to be like an exclusive too, and the ambiguity of how that's going to get released, that's going to be a very valuable Funko Pop. And Funko Pop secondary market is already pretty stupid to begin with, but that's going to be a very valuable one. Zone morphed into a Brave series. I think the Brave series concept was already starting with Master Force, and it was even more solidified with Victory. Robotech is beyond a nightmare, Joseph. Harmony Gold. Oh, there you go. It's Toynami. There you go. They're the ones who are doing. They're doing like those 6-inch figures, aren't they? I remember seeing those with Min May and everything. And Rick Hunter, not Hikaru. Legally in the U.S., I think the last lawsuit ended because the judge ruled. Oh, Harmony Gold's a bunch of idiots. Imagine they had for a fleeting moment they had Dragon Ball. Imagine if they would have held on to Dragon Ball forever and we would have had like Zero instead of Goku. Zero is our hero. Do you have that odd white Japanese Cerebro Fortress Maximus? Yes, I do. I have that weird head. That was the Comedy Duo 2-pack. I paid way too much for it. I do not have the Bump Chicken Bumblebee, though. I would love to have that one. That was super limited, and it was only available at that concert. I would love to get that blue one. Looks really cool. Shadow Maru. I would love Shadow Maru. I'm surprised that there wasn't some weird Japanese, like, exclusive Takara Legends, release into Shadow Maru. But then again, we got what's his name? Not Six Night. Why is my brain freezing on me right now? From Victory. That's supposedly it's Six Shot, although it's never been confirmed. Great shot, thank you. I don't know, my brain just froze up there. But yeah, so it's like I'm surprised that they didn't do it, but then we got Great Shot from Legends anyway. So how do you handle stress marks on your figures? You don't mess with them. If you have stress marks, it's because the plastic is getting stressed beyond its actual capacity. Best example of stress marks in the modern era, the hands of Krios. Most Krios, when you put their weapons in, it already stress marks because of the quality of the plastic. So you just gotta be careful with your toys. And some toys, just because the quality is not good, it's gonna stress mark anyways. Is Bump the Chicken Bumblebee the gray one? No, it's light blue. It comes in a fancy box with the leader of the band on the cover with him, drawn in manga anime style. Did Sakamoto confirm it's Six Shot? No, he didn't. No, he didn't, unfortunately. It's always been speculated, and then the dubs, the terrible Star TV dubs, or the Malaysian dubs, kind of like made people think that too, because he was still called Six Shot. So I don't know. I personally think it's a separate character, but it's always been kind of ambiguous. I love Robotech, but honestly, more Macross toys mean more access to Robotech designs and figures. We can tell them whatever we want. Yeah, well, that's Harmony Gold just trying to hold on to their golden goose because that's all they got. I saw their music video of Pokemon. It was amazing, very well animated. And you have to like pause it like crazy because like for a split second you'll see like all the fire type gym leaders. And then for a split second, you'll see like all the ghost type gym leaders. Like it's really well done, that music video. Chicken did the intro for Blood Blockade Battlefront. I did not see that. In the Legends manga, he was Six Shot, was confirmed, right? I don't think they confirmed that. I don't think the Sakamoto did that. I don't remember reading that. Here's one for you. I recently went through some of my figures in storage and went besides very dirty and some of the white is yellowing. Is there a way to make it white again? Yes, you could actually look online. There is a way to remove the yellowing process to white. Plastisol plastic turns yellow over time. It's just natural how it is. You just don't notice it with colored plastics as so much to white because white is really the base form of it. There is ways to reverse it. There's tons of different videos online. The only problem is when it involves stickers and or other colors, you might damage those other colors. But when you have something that has like, best example, the most commonly shown one is the old 1979 Stormtrooper from Star Wars. It's just an all white figure with black paint areas, and black, when you do the reverse processing, it doesn't affect it. There's tons of videos of that. Look it up. It's 2 chemicals. I forget what those chemicals are. You buy them. You pretty much dunk the figure in that. You leave it in the sun, and it reverses the process. It sounds crazy, but it works. I think Nightbird attempted to kill Six Shot, but he survived and became Great Shot. Okay. I don't think Nightbird would be able to kill Six Shot. Six Shot killed Ultra Magnus like nothing, so I don't know. Nightbird was taken out by the Autobots pretty easily, but not by Six Shot. So my original G1 Fortune Maximus needs a medical help. Well, he's a big guy, so you could take him to the hospital, but probably not a good time to go to the hospital. Do you think Masterpiece Starsaber aged poorly? I don't think so. I think Masterpiece Starsaber is about as good as a Starsaber toy could be. If I have one complaint about Masterpiece Starsaber is his sword is not big enough. And that's about it. I think his sword is a little small, but aside from that, I think he's great. Great toy. We couldn't have gotten Armada Optimus Prime as a Masterpiece if he didn't lose a vote to Starsaber. I prefer Starsaber. I like Starsaber a lot. Do you think we'll get any more Quintessons and Mercenary figures? I think we will. I think that's not the last we'll see of it. And there'll be repaints, but I think we will get more. Do you think we'll get Omnibots? Well, let's put it this way. Downshift as a trademark, it's gone right now. They'll probably maybe try to get it again at some point, but I don't know. Then we're talking, who else is left? You got Camshaft. That was a trademark they had. It's a dead trademark right now. And it's funny because they kept it for years, man. Like, they kept it for years. There was, like, even, like, those dudes, like, there's a Camshaft there of the little spy changers. So they don't have Camshaft. And then the last one, which is the most difficult, which is Overdrive. It's like that's not been registered for years. So I don't know. I think that they could do them again, but they need to get those names back. Omnibots and Trainbots are generation figures that needed to be for Earthrise. Yeah, but there's not a lot of slots. For 86 TF line, can we just get a group of robotic piranha fish? Maybe they'll come with a Sharkticon or like a new set or something. Who knows? Maybe with a giant squid. Who would you cast as Ginrai for a Michael Bay film? Well, first of all, I don't think Michael Bay should do anything related to Master Force. But if I had to cast someone for Ginrai, I don't know. Ginrai at the time was going for that Tom Cruise kind of look, but I wouldn't want to use Tom Cruise today. But that's definitely who they were going for. Would you have a lot of fun with the Generations Raiden? Yeah, I would love that. Power of the Primes Jazz would be perfect. Omnibot done right. I always thought Power of the Primes Jazz would have worked as Braver from Victory. I honestly, when I saw Power of the Primes Jazz, I honestly thought, like, oh my god, are we going to get like Road Caesar? Because I looked at that mold and I'm like, man, like, I don't know. Looks like they could do that. I had no idea there was a Sonic Bomber in Zone. Yes, there was. And he was awesome. He was really cool. They could use Override for Overdrive and do both of the Omnibots. And they could use facsimile character names. It's possible. And get back Downshift and Camshaft. I'm surprised they lost both of those. They just let those slide. You know, they had those for years and years, and they would throw it on mini cons, and they would okay, it's going to be a mini-con. Now it's going to be a deluxe figure. Now it's going to be a spy changer toy. Like, they were doing whatever they could to keep those names. And then they just let them go. I don't know why. That's so crazy. I guess they just couldn't find a spot for it, and they didn't want to have to pay for the registration or getting fined. Or Backstreet. I could see him as Backstreet, Power of the Primes Jazz. Yeah, that's another good one. But then how do you trademark Backstreet with the Backstreet Boys? I don't know. That would be crazy. Hopefully Takara will release Hydra and Buster. I wish. Any more Master Force stuff would be cool. It's just, you know what? There's only so many slots that you could do for characters to come out in a year, and those slots get filled up very quickly. That the what if they did this, what if they did that, just can't happen, unfortunately. You'd have to give him his giant chrome cannons for Backstreet, though. You'd have to, like, I don't know, include accessories or something, or maybe like remold the Jazz and give him something that you could put like little mini-con ports for the for all the weaponizer stuff. Like Autobot Jazz, they couldn't have just added them on. Omnibot camshaft, yeah, but see, here's the problem though. You trademark Omnibot camshaft, right? Now, every time you have to use camshaft, it's going to have Omnibot in front of it. So what if you want to use camshaft for a Creo, a tiny turbo changer, a Cyberverse toy, you know? By having it just be camshaft, you could put it on, as crazy as this sounds, a Beast Wars toy and get away with it. So you kind of want to avoid putting Autobot on something. Because here's the thing too, and this is very important. What if they want to use it for a G.I. Joe product? Omnibot camshaft, now it can't be just camshaft the G.I. Joe character. There's a Shockwave. There's a G.I. Joe character named Shockwave. There's a G.I. Joe character named Roadblock. There's a G.I. Joe character named Sideswipe. There's a G.I. Joe character named what's another Transformer name? Well, the Inferno was in Cops. You know, like the thing is that when you give it that weird thing in front of it, you limit what it could be used for later on. Like someone like Crimson said here, Special Ops Jazz. That could be used for G.I. Joe, but they really didn't use it for anything. You know, they were kind of painted into a hole there. So it's very difficult when you put, like, if you call it Autobot Jazz, you're stuck using it just for Transformer product. You can't use it for you can't make a My Little Pony named Jazz, because there's been Transformers that have been named from My Little Ponies and vice versa. Beachhead, Sea Spray, Trax, all My Little Pony characters. If it was called Autobot Trax, you couldn't call that My Little Pony Trax. It would have to be called Autobot Trax, and that wouldn't make sense. Do you think Hasbro will ever release Shattered Glass? I think they're kind of like peppering it to us a little bit. We get a Shattered Glass every so often. Every so often they give us a Shattered Glass toy. So, on the topic of Power of the Prime, since they did evolution gimmicks with leaders, how do you think they would have handled characters like Shockwave, RC, if they won the fan poll? Well, first of all, the evolution thing was only leader class figures, so I don't think we would have had a leader RC. Shockwave, like leader RC, I think we did get it. We got the evolution of the leader RC would have been a headmaster RC, and we did get it. Shockwave, there is no evolution there unless he dies, you know. Maybe the Siege Shockwave with that crazy armor and everything is his evolution. Who knows? Maybe all those things were covered. Who knows? I'm surprised Hasbro even is interested in Shattered Glass. It's easy repaints. That's why they're interested. You're trying to tell me they wouldn't be interested in a line that they could just take a toy, paint it black, and now you have a whole new toy? You know, like you could take, like Shattered Glass is all about repaints. So Hasbro would love stuff like that, where they could just milk it. Look, one of the Galactic Odyssey things is Shattered Glass. So it works out for them. Favorite Kamen Rider, Kabuto or RX? Or X. X is good too. Stronger is good also. Stronger's of the retro stuff. But I'll go with Kabuto. Kabuto is probably the best. Super Megatron did a way better. I must have missed the conversation there. Shockwave is Onyx Prime. Shh, that's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. People don't know that. I'm honestly surprised they haven't melt shattered glass as much as they. I think part of it is more just opportunity. It's not that they didn't milk it; it's that they didn't need to do it, and now they're going like, okay, we have Ratchet, right? They go, okay, we have Ratchet. What do we do with Ratchet? What do you repaint Ratchet? Well, you do Ironhide. We already did that. Oh. Shattered glass? There you go. It's when they run out of ideas. If you have Blaster, right? You do Twin Cast, the blue repaint. And then what do you do after that? Shattered glass. You sometimes paint yourself into a corner where there's only so. Look, when they did the repaint of Shockwave, they went straight for the Radio Shack Gray Wave because they had nothing they could do with Shockwave. There's certain ones that you just don't have a repaint that you could do with it. Black is way better than RX. Yeah, black is really good. I like the music too. Retro music. I'm going to use Shattered Glass Ratchet as G1 Scalpel. There's another trademark that they lost years ago and never revisited. That terrible little toy that breaks. Where are we at here? Give me toe line figure already. That's a trademark that's long dead. And it comes from Robots in Disguise, which if you're not Skybite, people forgot you. I'm surprised we even got that Sideburn club toy all those years ago. That was such a filler, that line. And if it wasn't for like that, Skybite being the way he was in the show and the voice performance that he had, like he's the breakout star of that. Your Revenge of the Fallen Scalpel is still intact. Go transform it right now. Actually, don't, because I don't want you to yell at me when you break it. It's extremely brittle now, all of them. It's like GPS. Don't mess with them. What's your favorite Transformer line that you have collected and why? Well, considering I have every single Transformer line, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, look, I really like Beast Wars. I really liked, that first run of Creo stuff. I like, how could I not talk about Siege? How can I not talk about classics? How can I not talk about Master Force? How can I not talk about certain movie toys? It's very hard to say one series is better than another because they have their duds and they have really good stuff. Proto, when do you think the next time we'll get more RED reveals? I don't know. Hasbro is, like I said, Hasbro is in a weird place right now for reveals. It's one of those things that tomorrow we're going to get an announcement that they're going to do another stream. And it'll be out of nowhere, and be sure to be there, and then we'll find out something. We already know that we're supposed to get a Starscream, we're supposed to get an Optimus repaint, which I think is probably going to be a battle-damaged one, and we're supposed to get Knockout. That's the 3 that were leaked online from the Walmart listings. Doing Star Wars Friday now. See, that doesn't even make sense. It should be Star Wars Saturday or Star Wars Sunday. Star Wars Friday. Then call it Force Friday. Come on, Hasbro, get with it. Who hires these dudes? I swear. Prime Wars is G1, but gimmickry. Siege is G1, but cool. Earthwise is G1, but G1. Meaning it's blocky and breaks. You think they will do a G1 edition of characters from different series like Bulkhead and Slipstream? Well, we get that once in a while. Once in a while we get an outside character that comes in. But, that's what we called Cyberverse. Cyberverse was kind of a hodgepodge of different things. Cyberverse gave us a scene that had Hot Rod, Bumblebee, and Cheetor standing all together having a conversation. Which is like, all they needed was Hot Shot, and it would be done. You know what I mean? You'd have like all the universes have collided. in a sense. But yeah, it is what it is. What time are we now? Oh my god, we're almost 11. Woo! We've been going this long. All right, guys, we're going to do some final questions, and then we'll call it a day. Once again, thanks to our sponsor of Hasbro licensed Symbiote Studios. If you want to get $5 off your next order, go to symbiotestudios.com. Go to the shop. Promotion code Protoman. Get $5 off your first order. Get some cool Transformer shirts. They also have a Soundwave one. They got the G.I. Joe movie stuff in the works with Snake Eyes. A lot of cool stuff. Who is your dream Generation Selects figure? Well, that hasn't been done at this point. I guess Grandis would be cool. Or Road Caesar. Again, it wouldn't make sense to do them, but who I would like? Grandis, Road Caesar, maybe a decent Minerva for people. Wouldn't it be cool if everyone got a good Minerva figure, like made specifically to be Minerva, not like a Nightbeat repaint with a masculine body type, like a more feminine body type Minerva figure? Give me those. You know, all those Master Force, Victory Zone, you know, original characters. I'd love those. Should I pick up Skateboard Gorilla? Yes, you should. Or Generation Selects God Neptune? Yes, you should. Because you get the best squid girl in the world. God Neptune is awesome. Where are we at here? I think we could do a pack of Cyberverse, Tiny Turbo Changer, Shockwave in different colors with a scientist figure. Well, that's if they want to do more Cyberverse. It's kind of weird what's going on with Cyberverse right now. Do you have Siege Fire Drive? If so, will they pair him with Studio Series Hot Rod? Maybe. Maybe. I have the Firebolt equivalent from the Masterpiece, which was, I think they called him Offshoot, was the trademark they gave him for the Masterpiece one, and he doesn't even sit in gun mode. And then I got the Target Master Hot Rod one, and that one's in gun mode. I'll even show that. One sec. Masterpiece display. There you go. There's all the different hot rods, multiple of them. So I'm gonna miss doing this if I don't get a webcam that doesn't have like a Wi-Fi kind of thing. I'm gonna have to do something like that, a wireless Wi-Fi cam. When are you gonna do an interview with Nelson Shin? Oy. No offense to Nelson Shin, but I don't think he would understand anything I'm saying. When he did that interview, that commentary track for the '86 movie, I don't think he understood anything that Flint Dille was asking him. It's like, hey, remember this scene here that we shot? Yes, I remember. RC is pink car. It's like, oh, thank you, Nelson. So, what did you think about the scene here where Optimus dies? Yes, Optimus is strong truck. It's like, okay. So I don't know. I don't think it would work out well. I interviewed Flint Dille many years ago on Transformer Slag podcast. I interviewed him with Phil, Decepticon Army, who was one of our old co-hosts back in the day. I'll have to dig that up. God, where is that in the archive? I'd love to dig that up. Maybe I could like dig it up, clean it up, and I could re-upload it. It was really cool because he talked about how he based the '86 Autobots off of the Green Bay Packers football team or something like that. And it was very fascinating because everyone always thought, oh, it's Star Wars, right? But no, like it was a really cool interview. Protoman knows something about Mask. What do I know about Mask? I know a lot about Mask, but what do I know about Mask that's... Yeah, Sue Blue was fun in that commentary because she was like, "Oh, look how RC is so like, you know, mothery with Daniel." Like she was actually into it, and Nelson Shin was just there. And it's no offense to Nelson; he's an old guy now. He doesn't remember that old cartoon. The man has worked on The Simpsons. Okay, like that's his biggest claim to fame. ACOM Studios worked on The Simpsons, and he made millions of dollars off of The Simpsons, and I'm pretty sure he was hyper focused on The Simpsons. And it's like, oh hey, remember that '86 movie that didn't do well that you worked on? Yeah, we're gonna like stick you in front of a screen and talk about it. Like, he's not gonna remember. Chicago Bears, thank you. There you go. I gotta find that. That was a really good interview. We were at, it was at BotCon 2011, and he had time, and he just like, we all sat down. We found like this really quiet part of the hotel, and we all sat down. We had these nice comfy chairs, and we did a really good interview where we asked like a whole bunch of cool, like just offbeat questions about the '86 movie that people don't normally ask. And he gave that answer, and no one knew that. No one knew that. Like, no one knew that information. That was like the first time anyone has ever talked about that, and it was crazy. Well, that's the thing too about Flint Dille, Michael, is that like he was a G.I. Joe writer, and I know this is like sacrilege to say, but I always felt that the writing and the character development in the G.I. Joe Sunbow cartoon, Real American Hero, was way better than Generation 1. I just think Generation 1 had the better movie. I think the '86 movie destroys the G.I. Joe movie. But the G.I. Joe movie had an amazing intro. Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Where are we at here? I could see Camshaft being another repaint of Cliff Jumper. It could happen. But you want to have, you know, that triple changer kind of, what was it, like the Stealth Force kind of gimmicks that they had and stuff. Before Stealth Force was a thing. Where are we at here? Oh, no. Here's the thing, though, Crimson. I remember he was mentioning how it was like an 80s football team. So the thing is that 80s football cards aren't that rare. So, and 90s football cards, let's not even talk about it. So I'm pretty sure those cards are easy to track down. Only if it's like a rookie card. That would probably be money. Protoman, what happened to Zoid's masterpiece? Zoid's right now is being marketed as a kid's brand. So, and it's funny because I actually have, there's Zoids right there. There you go. All the aquatic ones. I love aquatic Zoids. They're so cool. Cool brand. Cool brand. It's because I like building model kits and the fact that you could build them and then they like, you know, they have the wind-up feature. That's so cool. I dig that. Ruined by Cobra, la 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 la. Yeah, you can't take that seriously. I'm pretty sure Dick Gautier, because he did Serpentor. I'm pretty sure he was like, oh man, this is not good. Rest in peace, Dick Gautier. That was a good, cool dude. Recently watched G.I. Joe for the first time. Some of the G.I. Joe episodes are mind-blowing compared to G1. Yeah, that's the thing, Ultra Primal. Like, people who never watched, and again, I'm not like a crazy huge G.I. Joe guy. I like G.I. Joe. I have a bunch of their figures, but I wouldn't say I'm like a hardcore G.I. Joe fan. But when you go back and watch the old G.I. Joe, and then you compare it to like G1, like G.I. Joe's Season 2, and then you look at Transformers' Season 2, and it's like, man, like, they really hit their stride. There were some really good episodes. I don't like, maybe it's again Flint Dille. Flint Dille was probably a big part of that. Ron Freeman, who wrote the original treatment for the '86 movie, he was a G.I. Joe writer. Like, there's a reason why the '86 movie was so good for Transformers, because they brought in those great G.I. Joe writers to get involved. And they made a big difference, like in terms of character development, taking more risks, making more of a story. Like those Joe writers, man, they know their stuff. It's the same thing with Sentai. Like the only time Sentai, like Power Rangers in Japan, the only time they ever won like the Sci-Fi Award or whatever, was for Deca Ranger, and that's because Deca Ranger brought in Ultraman writers. So as opposed to just Sentai writers year after year. So it's the same thing, like. Transformers bringing in G.I. Joe writers made a big difference. Imagine like someone like Larry Hama writing G.I. Joe Transformer stuff. It would probably be crazy, but in a good way. Love that G.I. Joe movie intro. Yeah, the intro's amazing, and then the movie starts, and then it's okay. It's okay. I like Mercer, Nemesis Enforcer. The beachhead scenes, the scenes with Sergeant Slaughter, those are good. Side note, Ultraman fans, best Ultraman series. I am a huge Ultraman fan. I went to, if you live in the Toronto area, I live in Montreal, they have an Ultraman themed restaurant. And it is amazing. It's called Ultra Ramen. I actually have photos of it. I posted them online in one of the Ultraman Facebook groups when I went to go eat there. It was amazing. Oh. But I love Ultraman. My favorite Ultraman series, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I love Ultra 7. I love Towards the Future, only because it was my first Ultraman series that my dad introduced me to. I love the original Ultraman, specifically the non-dubbed version. I don't like the dubbed version. I love Ultraman 80. I love Tcg is very good too. Ultraman Max is good. Ultraman 7X is really good. The movie Ultra Galaxy Mega Monster or whatever there is incredible. See, here's the thing. The Ultraman Netflix series, it's based off of the manga. The manga is awesome. I'm not feeling the CG for the Netflix series. I think it ruins it. Read the manga. The manga that it's based on is way better. But see, Michael's like, if you like the manga, you'll like the Netflix series. I think the Netflix series doesn't do it justice. I think that they should have didn't go CG. I think the CG looks weird. Did you watch SSS Gridman? Bro, if you were following my Twitter, I was the guy who was translating all of that stuff. All of that stuff. I was the one that's like, okay, this is homage to this, that's homage to that, that was an homage to that. Yeah, I love Gridman. Of course. I loved Gridman like when it was Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. I got all those toys in my display. The Evil Kilocon. Actually, there was a really good photo that I posted when the first episode came out of Gridman. Where was it? Where is it? Here. Let me find that cool image that I did. Gridman. Gridman, baby bum bum. There it is. This was back in 2018 of October. Where is you guys? Check out this image. I took that. I think that was the day. That was the day of the first episode. I posted that. And it was like super like referential. Like everyone's like, whoa, okay. Ultraman USA got silly. Yeah, but it was again, Ultraman anime. I would love a Gundam 0083 MS team redone. I love it, 0083. When I try to introduce people to like UC Century, I show them 83. Because it aged well and it's really good. It's the Top Gun of Gundam. How come they never made a new Ditris? Ask them that. Like, you know what's funny? Because they did the Transformers TCG thing, but they just ignored Hound and they did the Hot Shot instead. It was an OVA Gundam 83, so that's kind of why it ends abruptly. I'm pretty sure they're like, oh, budget's done. We were only allocated for 12 episodes. We know you had a story for 52, but that is that. All right, guys. I'm going to have to call it quits. It's past 11 o'clock. We had a good time. I think we went... How long did we go? We went for a while. So it's been fun. It's been fun. A lot of cool stuff we talked about today. Congratulations to Dogcade who won. So contact me on Twitter and we'll hook you up. DownrightSuperb comes out of nowhere. Know a source that has data on old TF MSRPs. Yes, actually. I forget his name right now, but he used to run a website called Wheeljack's Drive-Thru or whatever. It doesn't exist anymore. He scans old catalog scans of all kinds of Transformer stuff throughout the years because he wants to like know when did Chrome Dome first hit, you know, like when did he first get released? Because we're like, oh, Chrome Dome, 1987 toy, right? But like, when did he come out? Was it like May of 1987? So he gets scans of all of these catalogs, and obviously with all these catalog scans, what's in them? MSRPs. So Downright Superb, contact me. I'll try to find his... He has a Facebook page. I'll try to find his Facebook page where he posts all that stuff, and you'll be able to find a huge plethora of a database of MSRPs. I know that I follow him because I have to pay attention to the MSRPs all the time from the evolution of price points, especially when we get a reissue. And we go, oh, blast a reissue, it's worth this much. How much was it worth back then? How much was it with inflation? But yeah, send me a PM, brother. I'll hook you up with that. But yeah, that's that, guys. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Once again, I appreciate everybody who comes on down and donates. And, you know, be sure to hit the join button. Come join the Slag podcast. You'll get some benefits, and you'll get to join the Discord, and you'll get to have your name in the credits and all the extra stuff that's in the super special Discord. I recently posted some rare scans of Transformer mangas that are not public. A lot of cool stuff. But then again, thanks again, guys, for coming. Yeah, that's it, pretty much. So, once again, guys, roll out.